Welcome in, readers, to a chill pill that I've been looking forward to since we got back from Louisville. I always love getting a chance to talk to people who haven't been in the scene as long. I mean, most people haven't been in the scene as long as I have at this point, but who have really seen a meteoric rise, things like that. We saw K Tizzle last week, but this week I have got somebody that I've been really excited to have on, and it is Coop. How you doing, Coop?
Great. How you doing, Ook?
Oh, just living the life. So, I hope things have been going well for you. If you're looking at the screen right now, folks, he is not Erica O. That, I was trying to get this timed up to the beginning of your first match at Louisville, and I had to actually turn the
Ridley looks a
audio
little.
on. Yeah, yeah, and if that's Mini Coop, you've been married a little longer than you told us. Uh, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
no,
I didn't even see that one.
they were getting everything ready on stream at this point, and it takes a lot to get everything moving on that, and it's generally the commentators who are doing it, so it's a lot of work. But
Yeah.
anyway, just glad to have you on, and I always start with the question of, can you tell us about your history with the game and how you ended up finding this wacky community?
Yeah. So I actually didn't really play Dr. Mario other than maybe a handful of times when I was a kid, but never really had much interest in it. I actually liked Tetris when I was a kid.
Right.
Um, and then, you know, got the Wii when I was, I don't know, in my 20s or so, late 20s, and played a lot of Mario Kart pretty much every night with
Mm-hmm.
Neo Speedo, actually. And got kind of bored with it when everyone started hacking it and, kind of took the fun away from it. Um, so I was on the Wii Shop channel and just noticed Dr. Mario was on there. So I was like, oh, I remember that game. I'm going to try that out. I really got hooked on it. And it was a little different than the NES version because it was much faster. You had the up button, which allowed you to drop the pills immediately. Um, and they also had an online version where you could challenge people online, which I thought was pretty cool.
Right.
So, I tried to get Neo Speed, and he was just all about Mario Kart. I didn't really want anything to do with it. Finally convinced him to try it, and he got every bit as hooked as I did, probably even more. And so we played almost every night. It seemed like for 13 years or
Oh
so,
wow.
all the way into the Wii U version of it, which is pretty much the same thing. It was called Dr. Luigi, but they had a classic version that was thing as the Wii version of Dr. Mario. Um, and like I said, we played almost every night. And then April of 2024, I believe, they did away with it altogether,
Right.
like the online play on the Wii U, and kind of broke our hearts. And so we couldn't play each other online anymore. Uh, we kind of set out to search for a way to play each other, and we came across a program, I guess, that you could download on the original Wii, and you could play the old Dr. Mario on the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did that, but there was like no community online, and it was just me and him, which was fine, but it just we were hoping to find more people to play than other than just me and him. And so searching online for Dr. Mario communities or something, and maybe we found something on Facebook, and that led him to find something about the Discord, the DrMC Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, there's this whole community on Discord. We should check it out." So, we joined the Discord group and immediately started trying to convince everybody to switch over to the Wii version, which
Yeah.
nobody wanted to do. He's so invested in the NES version. And they convinced us basically to switch over to the NES version uh, that they play. So I initially tried the Switch, and I think the first player I played was Doc.
Ooh.
And I just remember he just whooped me, and the lag was just unbearable.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I can't just it's no fun. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm done with Dr. Mario on the Switch. Um,
That's
and then
fair.
I saw people talking about Fightcade, of course, and had no idea what that was, but figured it out, downloaded that, and I said, okay, this is a lot better. At least the lag's gone. It's still a different version than what I'm used to, but I can adjust to that. The lag part, I couldn't. Um, and I guess the rest is history. I Fightcade, we both joined and just started playing, and now I'm hooked on that.
Wow. All right, so let me pull some nuggets out of there. Which version of Tetris?
The original NES.
NES. Okay. See, I was a Game
Yeah.
Boy Tetris player. I didn't have NES till I was an adult. I'm just curious.
Oh, the Game Boy. I saw the Mario and I was like, how does anyone play that? With no colors. It's like one pill's empty looking and one's full
Oh
looking and one's
yeah,
got a stripe on it or something. And I'm like, that's confusing.
I will say you get used to that up until level like 18 or 19 when it starts being one pill from the bottom or from the top of the board.
Yeah.
Then it starts becoming a pain. But yeah, no, I was definitely a Game Boy Tetris kid growing up, so I didn't even play the NES Tetris for a long time. But yeah, that was just curious which one caught your fancy
Yeah.
back in the day. So you played the Dr. Mario Online RX. Tell
Hmm.
me how you felt about that motion control version because I've tried it and
I never played that
okay, good
version.
because
I always
it's
played
horrible.
just with the regular controls because I mean, I think the last console I owned before the Wii was probably like the Super Nintendo or something. I think I stopped playing video games from the Super Nintendo to the Wii. I
Gotcha.
never had an Xbox. I never had a PlayStation. Um, no GameCube, no Dream. I had a Dreamcast later in life.
Yeah.
There was a particular game I loved on the Dreamcast that Neo Speedo and I used to play all the time. But um, yeah, other than that, I didn't really game a whole lot until the Wii came out.
Hmm. Yeah, we hear about some of that. And it's fascinating. You you tell yourself, yeah, we're the top 50 or 100 Dr. Mario players in the world that gather. We have no idea who's out there who could just pick it up like that. Granted, you pulled on 13 years worth of habit there, but
Yeah, yeah. It was
it's
it was a bit of relearning, for
yeah.
sure. Because even though it's the same game, it was very different than the Wii, and you actually develop completely different habits
Hmm.
on the Wii that you can get away with that you can't necessarily get away with on the NES version, and so you kind of have to relearn. I know Betty always talks about the horizontals, and if I could up my horizontal game, that would help me a lot. And so I've been trying to do that a lot, but really on the Wii version, you don't need a horizontal game. It's so fast you can do, and the drop time is so fast as well that you don't necessarily need to figure out these complex combos. You just do a lot of drop combos and you do them as fast as you can.
Right.
Um, but that's very different in the NES game. You can't just rely on that solely.
Yeah, it's definitely got a Tetris 99 sort of style where you're just that hitting that up button and moving right on and you're how many pills does it give you in advance, by the way? I haven't tried.
In in the queue, it gives you three.
Oh wow,
So
you get
yeah,
all kinds
and
of
that's
information.
when you play for 13 years with seeing three, you start to develop the habit of playing four pills at a time. You play what's on your board and you play your next three.
Right.
And so I think that gave me an advantage going into this one because right off the bat, I was always playing two pills because to me that seemed easy
Hmm.
going from four to two.
Right.
So it did help me right off the bat to have an advantage, at least over some people. Obviously, not there was a ton of people that were killing me at the beginning, but it did give me a head start, I think.
Well, all you have to do is tell Bidwell, "Hey, I'm willing to put in the work and get everything set up so that we can play version X," and he'll probably find a way to do it when it
Yeah.
comes to competitive. If you're willing to be at a live event, and especially the smaller ones, yeah, for Sunday in Louisville this year, he was like, "What are we gonna do?" And I was like, "Let's do mixed match." And he's like,
Yeah, I missed that. Unfortunately, we had to leave Sunday morning,
I
but I
know.
was I was interested in that actually.
But the whole reason that we did it that way is because, or the whole reason we ended up doing that is because I was just like relentless. Because I haven't owned Tetris and Dr. Mario for that long, but I'm just like, I want to try this version out. I've never played mixed match against a person. Can we do that? And
Yeah.
he went nuts for it. So, I doubt very much that he would complain if we can get all of the stuff necessary to put a Wii tournament on,
Oh yeah,
like a
yeah.
mini
Speedo and
tournament.
I have all that stuff to be able to do that, so that wouldn't be a problem.
Now, speaking of hosting something like that, you have hinted in the past that you have wanted to put a regional out. Is there any truth to those rumors, or is it still
Yeah,
something that's in the long
yeah. They're
term?
well, term, I guess. We actually something on in Florida just because we felt like having something southern might help people that are in Georgia, Florida, Alabama. Um, it's farther from me than Kentucky is because I'm in northern Alabama.
Right.
So um, when I used to live, well, Neo still lives in that. I used to live in Tampa or
Hmm.
around Tampa. Thinking about that area now, it's halfway down the state.
Oh yeah.
It's not the ideal area. I'm not really sure, but um, we found a place that was really um, appropriate, I guess, for a tournament. And I talked to the owner there, and it seemed like he's okay to do it. They just have to iron out some details. So I gave some of that information to Bidwell, and I think if it happens, it'll be sometime next year, but it won't be
Nice.
this year.
I would love. I mean, part of the reason I'm going to Wilmington is because it's only 8 hours away from me. So yeah, being able to
Yeah,
just make a day trip, that would be lovely. Because I'm less than two
yeah.
hours from Tampa. That'll make my day.
Well, and Florida is a nice place to vacation
Yeah.
anyway. So I mean, if people want to just take a nice Florida vacation during the week, even if they're not that close, hey, you never know.
Yeah. 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 It's definitely out of the way for most folks. Because
Yeah,
you're right, Tampa is.
and it may not work if we don't have enough people that are in the Florida market, I guess, or
Yeah, we'll have the
Georgia.
three of
But
us.
um, yeah, but if there's enough people that are interested in it, I think we can make it happen. I don't think it'll be a problem.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I haven't asked you about that because we didn't talk about any of that in the green room. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to see that. I know Dave and I a couple of years ago went up to Atlanta to a gaming convention just to see if it would fit what we were looking for, and neither one of us has the energy to try to put something like that together right now. So I am down to see what you can put together, and that's real cool.
And in all actuality, Atlanta might be the better location.
Yeah.
I just thought Florida because I'm
Oh,
from
hey,
there,
no
and
arguments here.
Neo's from there, and but I mean, realistically, Atlanta would probably be the best destination because I think you have some people in the Carolinas. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know Jess
Yep.
H. Lolly is from, I think, North Carolina, um, and I guess is Fwubs from the
Yep.
Carolinas because isn't
Yep.
that where she put her thing on, or is
Fwub's a
she not from
Dookie.
there? I'm sorry.
Fwub's a Dookie. She's in Duke. She's at Duke.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, and I just feel like, you're going much more north than Tampa. So you're probably
Right.
going to
Right.
reach
Right.
a lot of people up on that northeast coast.
Well, I'm excited for whatever you guys can decide to put together. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I don't know how that works for the immunity pool. Does it just go from
Ah,
like
who
eight to more
knows?
people or,
Who knows?
you know?
We're making this up as we go. That's the secret.
Yeah.
That's the absolute secret. We're
It's working though.
100%
It
making
seems
this
like
up as
it's
we go.
improving every year.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so you came out and saw us in Kentucky last year, and
Mhm.
that was our first time doing a double elimination. So you just jumped right into a tournament format that I appears to have worked for you. I don't know how you feel about how it's been going, but
Yeah. I've had no issues at all. I think it's run very well. It goes smooth. Sometimes things happen like power outages for an hour and a
we'll
half or
definitely get to
whatever,
talk
but
about that.
you know, other than that, it always seems to run pretty smooth. And I think, that's a testament to all the people behind the scenes, and obviously Bidwell and the Dave and all the people who are just helping set everything up, Steve, and
Yeah.
um, everything's always just running really smooth.
So, um, and Louisville 25 was your first tournament, your first live event, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you mentioned Fightcade, and I know the answer to this, but let's just go ahead and go over it. Tell me
Sure.
about what it was like moving to a live event from Fightcade for the first time. I know we've got a lot of players who are thinking about making that transition and maybe have been thinking about coming to a live event. So, walk us through what that transition was like and how long it took you to get kind of acclimated.
Well, first, I'd recommend it to anyone because the lives are just so much fun, regardless of how you do or how you think you should do and where you finish. That's all secondary to me. I think it's just fun to meet people. It was great to be able to put faces to all the names that I knew on Fightcade.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as far as the play from Fightcade to Alive, you have to adjust to a few things. One, obviously, if you're not used to playing on a console, which I wasn't, you're gonna you're gonna notice a difference. Now, it's actually a good difference, but it's still a difference. So you're used to playing, you have built up muscle memory a certain way, and you have to kind of change that. Um, but the other thing is you have to be able to block things out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're distracted easily and you've got, the noise of the convention and you've got um, the commentators speaking over your match and talking about you and maybe would have gone or if you did a great move or mean to make that move and you be able to hear it but block it. Um, but no, other than that, it's not really isn't. I feel like going from live to Fightcade is actually harder. So every time I go back to Fightcade, it's such an adjustment. That slight bit of lag that you have on Fight. Um, whereas going from a little bit of lag to no lag is a little bit easier to deal with.
Right.
Sometimes you feel like you're moving a lot faster than you normally would.
Have you ever thought about just bringing some headphones and trying to plug them straight into the TV that we've got so that you can maybe hear the music?
I've played 15 years and it's all been listening for sounds of the
Mm-hmm.
game
Mm-hmm.
to cue me on when to make a particular move, when not to make a move. And so having no sound is actually very, very, uh, it's a big disadvantage for me because I'm so used to it. Whereas Neo, he used to play at night all the time with no sound.
Mm.
And so I think the lives are built for him because he's just so used to that. Or maybe Snipe because, Snipe's used to listening to music in the headphones and not the sounds of the game. So for people who play that way, I think actually the lives are built for them.
Yeah, and I say this all the time on these streams. It's one of the things that always worries me as a commentator is, I want to be in front of the best match that we can have. And if I'm affecting the match, I feel like that's not happening. I feel like the integrity of the game is lost a little bit. So, even doing commentary, I'm usually laying back a little bit, trying to talk them into turning the speakers down a little bit so that we're not affecting the players. Trying not to talk about this play, that play. Because yeah, it really can affect how you see your own game, and that's the last thing I want to do is get inside of somebody's head and affect the gameplay. But I'm glad that hasn't been an issue for you.
you
I
you get you adjust to it. I think that's basically what happens is because in the first Kentucky regional, it did kind of distract me a little bit.
mm-hmm,
And when I went to nationals that year, I was on I guess the featured two seats
right,
or whatever, or four seats. And so I had to listen to every single qualifying crown. I
uh-huh.
listened to the commentators. That helped me adjust so much. And it got to the point where I was desiring to hear that. And kind of funny story is in the top eight when I played Penguin, I couldn't hear the commentator say anything about our match, but yet I could hear him talking about, the Snipe and Luke match
Hmm.
and and one of the other matches. And I'm like, why have they not said anything even when one of us is winning a crown or not? So it was distracting me because I was like, it felt like they weren't even watching our match. And come to find out that we were just
They
on
weren't.
DrMC too,
Yep.
and we couldn't hear it because it wasn't over the speakers in the live.
Hmm.
But that actually distracted me because I couldn't hear the commentators, and it was making me wonder what's going on.
Yeah, and again, I mean, good or bad, I feel like that's just kind of something that we're always thinking about whenever uh, whenever we're doing the commentary, is just trying to figure out, what can I say that's not going to affect the gameplay. But it's good to know
I
that.
don't know that there's really. I don't think there's anything you can say or I mean, short of you know um the like a dig at the person that would maybe make throw someone
Yeah,
off. But
yeah,
the are always so good about just maybe players who are there time and struggling. They uplifting all the play. So uh, I think you start with that and lose a lot of the lives. So I definitely think do what you guys are doing, talk the way you're talking. I don't think it's a big enough distraction for anyone that it needs to be like toned down
yeah.
or anything like that.
I appreciate that. So yeah, you came to nationals last year. What was that experience like? Do you guys drive? Or yeah, I guess you would drive because you're,
Yeah,
like you said, you're North
yeah,
Alabama.
yeah. It was
Uh,
about 6.5 hours, I think.
whew, that must be nice. Uh, it's like 15 for me, but
Yeah,
it's still cheaper than flying with my three. So, um,
yeah, for sure.
so you said it was a different experience. I'm guessing you were on DRMC one for the entire, all the qualifiers. Uh,
Yes.
how obviously it's a different feel. You do you have a preference for the private venue versus convention? How was that different? How
Yeah,
did you like it?
the private was great. I actually liked it better. The nat well, part of it's also because there's everybody's there. You get
Hmm.
to meet everybody, and to me that was the best part about it. But having it private, it did feel more like no matter who you're walking by down there, it's a Dr. Mario player.
Yeah,
And I hope that they keep it. That's that to keep it that way from now on. But I've never been to a nationals other than Cincy, so I can't speak to the previous ones in Columbus. But as far as comparing it to like Louisville, I definitely preferred the national setup.
yeah. I mean, Columbus felt like Louisville. It was big.
Mhm.
We had a nice stage, and yeah, there's definitely something about um, being able to have that whole, the whole world around you, and we get our walk ups and things like that. But yeah, I agree. I really like uh, what we have been able to create at Arcade Legacy.
Mhm.
I got really excited when they did that first California one over in the bar in LA, and I was like, yeah, I love the vibe I'm seeing here, and I can't wait to go join that. So it's been good.
Yeah, I think most of the people I've spoken with agree that this, I guess, who had been to Cincinnati and Columbus, that they preferred the Cincinnati
Right.
um, setup better.
All right. So let's talk about uh, the darling of Louisville 26, and that is the fact that Mini Coop has started playing. We've talked about
Yeah,
Coop Junior. He has no interest in playing, but Mini Coop has
yeah.
been on fire. What's that been like? And what have you guys? uh, Just tell me all
It's
about that.
okay. First word I would use is unexpected. I didn't expect him to pick this up so quickly and run with it the way that he has. Um, and I think what did it for him was when to nationals,
Hmm.
not as a participant, but just as support for me. And he got to meet all of his heroes because he kind of has looked at Fightcade and always looked at the rankings and got to know everybody. And I would tell him, oh, this person is good at this and this person's good at that. And so he kind of just soaked all of that in. And then nationals, he got to meet all these people and, maybe a little bit starstruck. And then
Mm-hmm.
Brave Little Minnie went up to pretty much everybody there asking to play.
Mm-hmm.
And, he would start on level 0 or 2 or 4 or something really basic. And everybody was very, very kind to him and you know, helped him along and encouraged him. And from that moment on, when we got back, I decided, if you really want to do this and you practice, if you put your mind to it, I think you can do a regional.
Right.
And then from there, maybe a national. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of began his training, if you will,
Sure.
in December. And I started him doing speed runs actually. And I know nothing about I know very basic stuff, that drop time is real important. And, it's not just all about making combos. You want to be able to down press as much as you can. And so I tried to kind of develop a speed um, aspect of his game before anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's backwards. I don't know, but it seems to have worked because if you've played him,
I
his
have.
speed is there for
Mm-hmm.
sure. It frustrates me when I play him because sometimes he gets the first combo and I don't like that. Um, but I think it really worked for him. He developed the speed and he would always, or it seemed like, 80% of the games he lost was because he would misflip and
Mm-hmm.
panic, or he'd
Mm-hmm.
try to get a piece over that you just can't get over in this game. Um,
Yet.
and, but that's good though, because to me, that's what you learn from that. You go,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, I've tried 6 times to get this piece over this column 7 and I can't get it over there. And so you stop doing it.
Right.
And he's just making less and less and less mistakes. It seems like every week that he plays, and the talent on Fightgate that he's beating on occasion, or at least giving a good run to, or getting crowns off of. It's just really amazing how he's done this in 4.5, 5 months
Right.
as a 9-year-old.
Yeah. 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 And I'll say, you guys walked in to Louisville, and first thing I did was like, "Hey, you want to play?" He goes, "Yeah."
Hmm.
And I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, the kid's not going to back down from anybody. Certainly not from
no,
me.
no,
And yeah, I mean, he took me to 5. It absolutely.
yeah,
And I looked at your wife and I said, "Listen, I I work with kids professionally. I have taught my kid things. I am not one of those people who's going to go, oh, look, it's a kid. Let me play easy. Nah,
hmm
I'm because kids aren't going to learn that way. And I knew he
right,
wanted to be, top quality player. So I'm like, cool. I'm going to play him.
yes,
I'm going to play him. I want to see how this kid's got. And yeah, absolutely. I think I had to reverse sweep him. I think he may have taken the first 2 crowns off of me. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that's
He,
not a high bar to set, but definitely a
well,
good player.
he likes to talk about he talks about Dr. Mario all the time. Like
Hmm.
first thing when I pick him up from school, that's what we're talking about. Did anyone in the team battle play? Did anyone for Team Chill win? And so one of the things that he has said on a couple of occasions is he's like, I've played every A rank and B rank, or every A rank, and I've taken at least a crown from every A rank now,
Nice.
including like Swang.
Hmm.
And so that's his crowning achievement so far is saying that he's taken crowns or multiple crowns from A ranks. And
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't. I look back to 5 months of me playing Dr. Mario, and I was nowhere near where he is. Not even close.
you didn't have the coaching he's got.
Yeah. Well, and part of it I wonder too is when I was a kid, I was a much better video game player than when I was an adult. And
Ooh,
you just
yeah.
pick things up quicker,
Hmm.
and your hand-eye coordination is great and everything. And so part of me wonders if it's part advantage to be 9 years old,
Hmm.
just because he loves video games, he's always played video games, um, and the other part is just raw talent. I mean, the kid's talented. I mean, what more can I say? He just not many kids can just pick up a game and be as good as he is in a matter of 4.5, 5 months.
Yeah,
But
there is a not insignificant part of the community that has been terrified for years that teenagers were going to figure out about this game. And I don't know if
and
you've
take
watched.
over.
Yeah, I don't know how much competitive Tetris you've watched, but the days of people like Jonas, rest in peace, being able to be competitive with the kids, it's gone. The
Yeah.
the last video I
Levitic.
saw, it was like Dog versus Scooty, and I know both of them are under 20. I was like, oh dear.
Yeah, I think it was Leviticus who mentioned that there was a 9-year-old Tetris player, and I might be wrong. If sorry if it wasn't Leviticus and it
I,
was someone else,
yeah.
but I thought it was Leviticus that said that there was a 9-year-old that's a competitive Tetris player, and I should go look him up. And I did, and I was just blown away. I'm like, oh my God, that kid is amazing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I think to myself, I don't know how long. I think in the video he said he'd been playing since he was 4,
Oh wow.
and I'm like, well, that's 5 years worth of playing. And I kind of look at Mini Coop and I think, well, where's he going to be in 5 years when he's 14 years old?
I can take a few
If
guesses.
he sticks with it and he plays as much as he's playing now, I do believe the sky is the limit for him.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope he never gets too good and takes over dad, but not until I'm ready to retire.
Yeah, and honestly, we're in a community where the average age is probably in the mid 30s or higher, and
Hmm.
so we're all peaking. We've all hit our, a lot of us have hit kind of that mechanical limit. The
Hmm.
community is growing. We're seeing a lot of evolution and quality increases, but there's a lot of players, and I'm probably one of them, who have played their best Dr. Mario. And yeah, you've got these kids who can come in and just go, cool, I can't wait to see what I can do with it.
Hmm.
So, yeah, a lot of us are scared of that.
Yeah. I think the game is old enough that you're not going to get, an influx of young people just wanting to join. I think it's going to take kind of what it took for Mini Coop to do it, a family member who plays it a lot or something like that. And just I don't think it's going to be overrun by the young crowd anytime soon. But
Well,
I
if it
know there
is,
are Betty's got a daughter, you never know. You got like there's a Cat Pants has a youngin that,
yep,
has at least played.
mine
So
has no interest.
maybe there will be a generation that pops up soon.
It's possible, and I mean, Tetris is that old. It's just a matter of what
Hmm.
we're able to do. Granted, the Tetris has got their own advantages, not being on my Nintendo and things like that. But yeah, there's no telling. There's really no telling. But I believe this generation of kids can, if they take it over, they're gonna be good stewards of the game. So that's all I
Yeah.
can. That's all we can hope for.
And people don't realize how addictive this game is until you've played it for, a
Yes.
few months straight. It just it's hard to put it down.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah, I've said more than once, this is the reason that I'm still streaming. Without this community and the game and being able to have something with goals like this, there's no way I'm still streaming 6 years on. So
Yeah.
it it's been great. Um, Anything else you want to chat about before we get to talking about actual gameplay? Any future
Um,
tournaments you're planning on going to, or
no, I mean, obviously, just right now it's Louisville and Nationals are the
yeah,
two that I'm focusing on. I don't know that I would ever make it out to any of the other ones unless I was really upset that I didn't win Louisville and I convinced myself to go to another one to try and win another one. But I don't even think that would happen. If I lost Louisville, I just wouldn't go to another one. Um, no, I love Team Battle on Fightcade and Discord.
mm-hmm.
That's been a great group of people to work with, and that's kept me busy. Um, Gridley and I started that about, I want to say, maybe 4 months, 5 months ago,
Something like that. Yeah.
and it's grown, and we've gotten a lot of help from people like LC and Pez and Archer and Chieftain, even Betty and Ibar have been helping as
Mm-hmm.
well. It's just been it took off a lot better than I thought it would. You know, every season we seem to have around 30 something players who join. Um, so that's just been real fun, and I've enjoyed that, and I hope that keeps going for a long time as well.
Yeah, I mean it's great seeing people step up and put together something different. You know, we for the longest time, literally, it was just speed run and live events. You know, of course,
Hmm.
Doc started VBL, and that
Hmm.
allowed us to do things. But to see players kind of develop their own thing, you know, you monthly checkup, team battle, and be able to find ways to bring life into this game that those of us who've been in charge of it for a while, you know, I mean, we're kind of stuck trying to just trying to make the versions that we already have as good as they can be. But to
Yeah.
see folks who can just be creative like that, it's been a lot of fun to watch. And you know, I got in on the first one. I did not help you out at all, but I tried.
Well, you know, and we've had to tweak it so much since the first one because it was kind of in its infancy stage at that point, and we didn't really know the best way to do things. And Pez came up with a great idea rather than double elimination. Why don't we make it, you know, a point system to where, hey, even if you lose the first 2 weeks, you're still in it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you still have an opportunity to earn points for your team, and that's worked really well. And this past season, we've even gone from 4 tiers to 6 tiers, which, you know, for those not familiar, basically the tier is there to make it an even playing field. So if you've got someone who maybe on Fightcade is you know, a D or an E rank, and they have to play someone who's maybe a mid C or a high C rank, and so there's a little bit of a disadvantage depending on the tier that they're in, they'll get a crown advantage or 2 crown advantage over
Mm-hmm.
that person to try and kind of level the playing field. And that has really worked well at keeping people interested, I think, because it's a little different than like the monthly checkup, where, you know, if you're a lower seed, you tend to play the higher seeds right off the
Mm-hmm.
bat. And so oftentimes the lower seeds, they'll lose that first round and then have to play, you know, a couple more games maybe in the other bracket, and then they're done because they ended up having to play, you know, two top-notch people out of the first 3 games. And so I felt like that would be somewhat discouraging for me, and I don't
Right.
know that you know, I could keep up if I felt like I was just running on a treadmill and kind of just staying stationary. So that was the whole premise for Team Battle, was just trying to get everybody involved and feel like they're contributing and they're part of a team, and um, you know, the camaraderie, and it just, I think it's worked really well because I think we have a very balanced roster every season, from, you know, all the way from snipe to, you know, your E ranks. They're all playing. So yeah, I think it's worked really well, and it's given people another option if maybe the monthly isn't for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I think it's been really good.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are trying to put together a long form, competitive format without and keeping people interested in it. That's
Hmm.
with the live tournaments, the speed run tournaments, monthly checkup. You know, all of us are just trying to keep things into a bite size chunk of time. Which, you know, I mean, Lev still takes 5.5 hours to get through a monthly
Yeah,
checkup, but
that's crazy. He does such a
it's
great job
oh
too.
yeah. The last one I got on at 7. You know, watched him start, and then I checked in before I went to bed, and it was like closing in on 12:30 my time. I was like,
Hmm.
how are they still going? It was just
Oh,
finishing up, and I'm like, I can't imagine running a tournament that long.
yeah, and he runs it so smoothly, and there's almost never any issues. At least nothing on his side. You know, there
Yeah.
might be hiccups with players, or, you know, but um, or Fightcade, but really he runs it so smoothly, and it's always fun. I think there's only been 1 or 2 since I've been on Fightcade that I didn't join because I enjoy him so much.
Yeah, it's with those, you know, yeah, you kind of have to throw the lower ranked players to the lions because
Hmm.
otherwise you're going to be there, you know, for 2 weeks.
Well,
And
yeah, and it's not fair to put, the higher ranks against each other right off the
right,
bat,
right.
and make one of them lose. And I understand the method behind it.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes I feel like it could be frustrating for some, to just feel like, oh man, I have to like the first one Mini did. I don't remember if it was they put him on Tomahawk or Pez or
Oof.
Ibar or somebody, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh
Yeah.
well, hey, there's always next round, buddy. Like,
Right. Oh yeah,
and
no, I participated in one, and I literally looked at the challenge, and I went, I'm going to win that one, I'm going to lose that one, or I'm going to lose that one, I'm going to win this one, I'm going to lose that one. I knew exactly who
yeah.
I was going to play, and I called it almost to the crown. I knew exactly what was going to happen, but
Yeah.
that's short form
Well,
for you.
then the skill level differences does create a bit of yeah, we kind of know who's going to win this match and we kind of know who's going to
Hmm.
win that. And it's not to say it's going to happen every time, but the majority of times this person's going to beat this person. And with team battle, it's not that way. It's
Right.
kind of like you got two people who are on two different levels, but when you have that handicap, you're like, ooh, this could be good, and you don't really know who's going to win. Um, so that's been really fun just watching, you know, certain people upset, if you will, other people and getting very excited about it and the team getting excited about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I really like the idea of long form competition. It's whenever we're talking about ways to like revamp, some of the tournaments that we have. I'm always like, man, it'd be nice if we just do a season where it's always the same people and then they're playing each other round robin and then do this, do that, and it doesn't work because we're not professionals. We don't all
Yeah.
have all the time in the world to stream.
Yeah,
It's not the NBA out there, but
exactly.
man, if it was, we would have some fun
Well, and
with
that's
it.
kind of why we decided one match per week. You
Yep.
have the entire week to figure out when you're going to do your match. Doesn't matter what day. Um, and very rarely do we get it to where the match just wasn't able to happen for whatever reason. It's
Yeah.
happened a handful of times, but for the most part, everybody's able to get that one match in per week. It's pretty laid back.
And that's was kind of my point altogether, is just that I'm really glad that you guys have figured this out, and found new ways to make this old game, work in a team format. That's something we've tried multiple times to do just on like side events. So I'm really glad to see that you found a way to make a team event that is interesting. And one of these days we're gonna have to get some of these matches up on the channel. I don't know. We'll have a
Yeah,
little chat with
we're
Chris at
working
some
on that.
point.
Yeah, and then the next step is Team Canada versus Team USA.
Oh wow.
That's got to happen at some point.
What is it? Ryder Cup, Davis Cup. Which one's the golf tournament they have? U.S.
Oh,
versus UK.
I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, I'm not either. But they do one like every year that's that way. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. USA versus Canada. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing that up because I did forget that I wanted to talk about team battle.
No problem.
All right, so let's get to Louisville. You guys have driven up. Um, you've had a chance to rest and get yourselves ready, and it's tournament morning. Do you have any rituals that you're focusing on, or is it just getting all your kids out of bed and and getting everybody moving? What's your
Yeah,
mindset
just
like? Go ahead.
well, probably a little different this season because you had Mini Coop competing as
Right.
well, and I knew that Mr. Scoop, as some people know, my wife has,
Yeah.
was going to have to be, with him at all times, pretty much.
Hmm.
So when it was his turn to play, she could be in the background on camera, for legal reasons.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, and so, luckily, Coop Jr. is kind of old enough to go and do his own thing
Hmm.
at the convention, which he enjoyed doing while he was there as well.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, no, it really wasn't much different other than that, just making sure we all knew where we were at all times. And um, but I don't really have any ritual, I wouldn't say, just wake up, hope you feel good, and hope
Yeah.
you have you know, an on day.
Yeah. You had mentioned, or you talked to me about it at the event. You know, you were feeling a little rough. Did that when did that start? Was that before the tournament started, or was that just like in the later
No, it
rounds?
was about, yeah, I would say it was about halfway. I think maybe right after my match with Sassy,
Okay.
um, around that time, I had a break and I was kind of just waiting for my next match. And um, I got, I had been dealing recently with some really bad dizzy spells, and I started to feel like I was getting another one.
Mhm.
So I would run back to the hotel real quick, get more to drink and relax and come back and try and keep walking around to hope that it will go away. And it just kind of got progressively worse,
Oof.
until the very end. By the very end, it was better, but there was a point where I thought I was just going to have to kind of throw in the towel, because the last thing anyone wants to see is a contestant puking on camera and creating a mess for everybody. And so at one point, I did think I was possibly going to bow out.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you
But
didn't.
fortunately, yeah, fortunately, it got better. Actually got better, I think, during the power outage. So maybe that was a blessing. Um, it really seemed to improve the most at that point.
Right. 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 All right. So you got a chance to see your kid play. I think he won his first match. I
He
don't.
did,
Yeah. Okay.
yes. Um,
And
yeah, he did really well.
judging by the names, it was right before yours. So uh,
Yeah,
that's something I always say. I'm gonna avoid trying to pair up somebody against their family member in the first round. I can make no promises in later rounds, but
sure.
you set up these tournaments as fairly as you can, and you're still just like, don't do this, don't do that. But luckily, you guys didn't end up having to pair off against each other. But yeah, this was your first tournament, or your first pre-qualified tournament, I guess, where you had been at the previous one. I know last year we had Perula was there and you were there, and you guys were the two that we were like, we have to put them higher than everybody else that's not in the thing, because otherwise they're going to scare people off. Uh, so
Yeah.
so you ended up
I
with a good
think
seed.
I
Yes.
think that season when they did the final or the top eight rankings, they ranked me eight, and I was on Betty, who was
Mm-hmm.
number one. And I was kind of thinking, I don't know if that's really the right rankings, but we'll go with it. I'm sure there's a method to it. And I said, this is my first tournament, so you can't rank me high because it's based on nothing really. It's just based
Yeah.
off of Fightcade rumors or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think Betty made a comment, like, this is not the eight seed that I necessarily wanted to see, and
Yeah.
she wasn't the one I wanted to see either. That was, I told my family before I found out who I was matched up against. I was like, just be anybody but Betty, just don't put me on Betty first. And sure enough, I go there and it's Betty, and then I see the next person. If I get past Betty, it's Perula, and I'm like, oh, awesome. So,
Yeah. We
but
so for anybody who's not in the know, if there's not a qualifier, we generally rank people based on their seed in the or their final rankings in the previous national tournament, and unfortunately, that means that people that folks who didn't make it out to the last one end up getting shafted a little bit, and almost as much as the people who have to play against them. I know Ramsey wasn't real happy with who he had to play the first round last year. It was you, wasn't it?
yeah, but he
Yep.
beat me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you were still
He
getting
told me,
used
he was
to.
like, he goes, you were the person I did not want to see this
Yeah,
early. And he looked like he was a little panicked, and he beat me good. I think beat me 3-1. And he was focused and determined, and he did it. So I was like, well, there you go,
that's
and
you just
sent me
described
right
me.
down to the losers bracket.
Which you, by the way, beat your way out of, and I believe you took second place last year, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I in round one, again, it was Betty, and then Perula, and then Dave Smith mopped the floor with me in the
Yeah,
finals.
that's
Three
Dave for
nothing.
you.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's always tough for us as organizers, because we know. and we will give an advantage to players who we know are not going to take the ranking that they're not going to receive the ranking that they deserve. And
Hmm.
that's part of the reason we're always like, bring on as many people as we can. Let's get as many bodies as we can so that these matchups that we don't want to see early show up late. And
Right.
but this year you didn't have that problem. You came to nationals last year, and if you can come up with a fairer way to do it, by the way, by all means, let me know. We're
No, I think you have to have a way like
yeah.
that where it's like, hey, there's no bias. This is just how,
Mm-hmm.
everybody finished. And you might say, oh, okay, well, this person should be ranked higher than this person. Well, that's your opinion. Someone else might have a different opinion.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to stick with that. And I think it's the right way to do it. It just sometimes it ends up
Yeah.
being where, these two people play each other a little earlier than they should, maybe. But I don't think there's really any of avoiding that without bias.
Yeah. Well, like a national ranking system, like they've got in college football or something.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get all the coaches together and rank all the players. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
So you've got this was Wormcast, your first opponent. I don't think he might be in our Discord. I'm not 100% sure.
I think he might be. Yeah. I think I've seen the name in
Yeah,
Discord before. I
yeah.
don't think he's on Fightcade, but or anything like that, but I think he is
There
on
you
Discord.
go. So, you come in and it's 11 medium. First off, how do you feel about that? Does it
I
take adjustment? What do you practice it?
No, I don't practice it. Well, I practice it maybe the day of or the day before.
Hmm.
But I don't practice leading up to it. But um, it's actually advantageous for me because of my play style. So my
Hmm.
games often end with either me topping someone else out or me getting topped out.
Hmm.
And so 11 medium gives you so much clearance, at least compared to what I'm used to with 14 high,
Hmm.
that it's rare for me to top out on 11 medium. And so I feel like I move faster than the average person. So during those first few rounds, it actually to me is very advantageous
Yeah,
beyond 11.
I agree. I'm in the same boat. I like to take the risky plays.
Hmm.
I'm used to playing speed where there's a right answer, and if it's way over, tapping way over, you tap way over, you figure it out. And I'm used to playing medium anyway, so it's yeah. In those early rounds, sometimes I'll start to make a play, and I'll be like, in the back of my mind, it's Fightcade. So I'm like, oh, I can't make this play because
Right.
I don't,
But you can.
but you can, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's on medium speed. So you definitely
Yeah.
can. So you definitely do that.
I
Um,
find I find myself surprising myself that I made that move. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I got that pill all the way over. And then I
right.
remember, oh, it's because it's medium. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like I do these what would normally be a dangerous move, and it was real easy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think that there is a disadvantage though, and that is, at least to my knowledge, I never see the same boards on 11 medium that I'm used to. I never see the same pill sequences that I'm used to, and
Oh gosh.
maybe
Yeah.
that's just luck of the draw. But when I play on Fightcade, I've played so much that I start to recognize boards, and I recognize what the first maybe four, five, six pills are going to be
Right.
on those boards. And so it gives me kind of a head start. Whereas 11 medium, I think they use different, obviously different boards, but different pill sequences as well. And so it's always an element of surprise on the board because it's something you've never seen before.
I can answer that actually. Because it's with Fightcade, when you start up a game with somebody, it starts on power up for the
Mhm.
cartridge. So you've got, you know, depending on how, if you on average are starting around the same time into the game, you're going to start off with the same few or same few board sets.
Yes.
So when we're playing live, we've got these games running for hours, sometimes on end. And
Hmm.
so well, there's I'm assuming it's 16 to the fourth potential boards. It may be fewer than that they've got, but that cycle is much longer, and you have no idea where in the cycle sequence you are. So yeah, you're definitely going to be seeing different stuff regardless of whether you're playing 11 or 14. Yeah, that's I didn't even think about that after years and years of playing Fight Cage, you're going to end up with the same boards over and over and over again.
Yeah, there's just certain boards that stick out as kind of
Hmm.
strange looking to me, and it's like they're memorable for whatever reason. And so it's not like I know even half or a
Right.
third of the boards, but maybe one out of every, I don't know, 7 or 8 boards that pops up. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I remember this one, and I already kind of know my first sequence of what I'm doing, so I'm able to just move the pills with ease to where they need to go. And I found that when those boards pop up, I tend to have an advantage,
Yeah.
over people who maybe don't recognize that board. Um,
Ooh, there there is a way. There's a way to give yourself a serious advantage with that, thanks to the tools that we have. I didn't. Oh man, I'd never even thought of that. Because we've got Granivore, which allows you to input what you've got, and you can see the entire pill sequence. You can know what's coming. You could study
mhm.
these boards. I
Yeah.
don't like that.
If
I don't like
if
that
you
at
got the
all.
time to do it, I'm sure
Hmm.
you could, and would probably be extremely beneficial. But
Yeah,
you know,
get your
uh,
get your part of that $500 prize pool once a year. if
yeah,
it's if it's
yeah.
worth if your time is worth that, go for it.
I go about it naturally. Just
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember it, then great. But if I don't, no big deal.
Well, I mean, we had a big kerfuffle over at excuse me, over at Speedrun just a couple of months ago over just that sort of thing, seed hunting and all of that. So
Mm.
you never, and there's no benefit to being the world record holder in 0 to 10 Dr. Mario NES. Yeah, ask
No.
Floyd. So the fact that, excuse me, there are people who have taken the time and energy to do that, you just never underestimate people's desire to use whatever means are at their disposal to do that.
Yeah, I suppose. I think Dr. Mario is such a friendly game, even though it's competitive and whatnot. A friendly game that I don't think anybody's, or the vast majority of people probably aren't going to spend all that time to get one little advantage over the next person. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
Here's
at
hoping.
least the people I've met in the versus scene don't to be that way. And I
Yeah,
think if you memorize it naturally, then that's perfectly fine because
yeah,
how are you to stop yourself from remembering these things and using them to your benefit? Like you're not going to not place the pills where they're supposed to go just because you've memorized it. But
yeah,
um, yeah, I don't. I think whatever works for you. Like I said, Snipe listens to his music in his headphones, and it works for him. Terrible for me. I don't think I could do it. Everybody's got their different things that work, and you know,
yeah, yeah. We
that's
want to
more
keep
power to you. More power to you.
the game fun. I think that takes the fun
Yeah,
out of the game.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, well let's start this matchup. Let's see what you do. I flipped through it a couple of times. I had to actually find the starting point because this one doesn't last long. But let's start off with your first pills. And okay, good. I love it when I get a chance to like pick your brain, take a feel, see what's going on. And let me see if I can get to the second pill. Okay. So you've got a double blue to open with a yellow red chaser, and it looks like you're going left. Um, you've
Yeah.
got
So normally I would put this in 1 and 2,
mhm,
um, because on that side all you have is blue blue drop combo. I don't see anything else
right.
that would be over there. And my method is always to keep as many different combinations open on your board as possible, which I think is probably most people's method.
Hmm.
So that gives me a blue blue on the left and gives me a red blue as well as a red yellow right next to it, and then you know a yellow yellow right there in the middle. Really, the only thing that doesn't leave open is a red red. So I just feel like that's where I should place it. And I don't know if it's where I do place it, but that's where I probably should place it.
Yeah, the only argument I could even come up with is that with the red yellow chaser, you might be able to either get the double combo. If it's red yellows three in a row, then you've got that, and maybe placing on 2 3 gives you the option if there's a red blue to finish that sequence. You can drop it down and make a combo, but that may be
Mm-hmm.
you know, I wonder if the amount of drop time there might be an issue, and I think that's an error I'm running into in my own game. So I'm talking it through myself here.
Yep.
But yeah, I like 1-2. That's a very Dave Smith style play. He told me during his interview that he never likes to put a double vertically if he can help it, because it just, it's great for speed. It's horrible for versus. But all right, let's see if you go 1-2 and then where you're going from there. That's exactly where you're going. And the game is giving you exactly what you need. Bingo bango, first combo. And I don't remember how many matches we've got to get through, so I'm not going to take too awful long talking about each individual one.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
oh, great, we've got an ad. It's about a lighter that burns really hot, because I don't do anything on this particular. Uh, that's gross. On this particular account for YouTube. So, what are you looking at whenever you're starting a board? What is it that kind of draws your eye first? Oh, yeah, that needs to go.
Um, so I've noticed that if I concentrate at the very beginning on where I'm going to place pretty much every combination of the three colors that could possibly come, then I
Sorry.
normally start out and get the first combo. It's
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes that I'm not paying attention to that and I'm just like, oh, is blue yellow. I'm going to put it over here. Oh, the next pill's, red blue. I'm going to put it over here as it comes. So if I'm playing well, it's always knowing exactly where every combination is going to go before they come. And so when they do come, you're not thinking about it. You're just moving it in that general direction. So oftentimes I won't think, oh, red, blue goes in column 2, 3. I'll just say to myself, red, blue, red, yellow goes right.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I'm moving it over there, I'll place it accordingly, but by that time I've had a chance to actually look at which column it needs to be in, but I know which direction it's going in, either left, right, or center. So that's typically how I start off the game.
Okay.
And then depending on how the game goes, obviously my strategy can change drastically.
Gotcha. I froze here just because you did a move I'm not sure I agreed with, and
Okay.
this the dropping this with the double blue coming up. I like this better in 4 or 5 with the making the cross clear. I'm just
Yeah,
curious if
you're right.
that's
And getting a T clear.
yeah. Okay, I
Yeah,
just
it would make that would make the most sense is to put it in 4 or 5 with the double blue coming next. I'm I'm thinking that maybe what I do is I tuck the blue underneath,
no.
but I don't know.
You went
I
straight on
just
top
put
with
it
it.
straight down. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a terrible move.
no, it's fine. I'm just trying to figure out again what's in your head. Maybe maybe you're seeing something. Maybe it's something you're not normally seeing. And
Well, there's really three right answers to this. I mean, that are at least
yeah,
right-ish. There might be some that are better. Um, and if I place it just how it is right now, flat like that,
mhm.
that's like one of the few wrong answers. So
That's
um,
exactly what you
I
do.
might,
But
yeah, I might have just been moving fast and not
and
really paying too much attention.
I mean, that's definitely a viable play, especially when you're in these early rounds. I don't know how much fatigue you run into, but
Fightcade builds up my stamina because
that's
there's
fair.
matches that I play with people like Rodzilla and John Dat Flindo that go like an hour and a half long. So fatigue doesn't normally play too much of a part for me in this, but
Hmm.
maybe in nationals qualifiers it got a little fatiguing, but that's mainly just sitting in the same seat for hours.
Right, right,
That was the
right.
fatigue.
We may need to have a little thought about how we handled that. But
I mean, it was okay. I have a bad back, so that was
sure.
probably more a me thing than
Uh,
a DrMC
remind
thing.
remind Bidwell of that. We'll put you in the fun chair next time.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, and this is definitely a thing we see with our at the end of the speedrun tournaments, because levels 14 through 17, those are 10-minute levels. Those level
Hmm.
blocks are 10+ minute level blocks, and you definitely you go through the semifinals and then you've got the finals right after that. And whereas a first round match can be over in 10 minutes, you're
Mhm.
looking at half, and they're best of five. So, you could go for a solid hour playing speed, and
Mhm.
it really does work the brain. So I didn't know if maybe that was playing into it. I'm always trying to get my mental game worked up. So I really was just kind of curious on that front.
Well, and a lot of people from Fightcade know this about me, and I've told other people as well. But my first three crowns or so that I play are usually not great because it's my first match of the day and I'm kind of trying to adjust. So
Mm-hmm.
I do make a lot of mistakes in my
Sure.
first match. So, part of it could be that, but honestly, I'm looking at this just going, I don't know what I was thinking. It was just not a good move.
Okay. And fast is a viable option here. And as it turns out, you're gonna combo this anyway. I mean, there's one, two, three, and you're set up for something to do with four, just depending on how this next round or the next kind of pills show up. And there's
Hmm.
a top out from Wormcast. So you guys get right back into it. And again, oh, I love this. I hate when we do the first pill and it's just kind of real obvious because there's only one place. So,
Hmm.
what are you thinking here? What's the play?
Um, I mean, this to me is on 6 and 7.
Okay.
The way it is. Just move it over.
Okay.
There's another play that I actually would sometimes do in this case that's maybe a little unconventional.
Mm-hmm.
But
So,
again, so I look at the board and I say, all right, well, I see red, red, I see red, yellow, I see yellow, blue.
mm-hmm.
What I don't see is a red, blue,
Okay.
or I'm sorry, yeah, red, blue. So in some cases, what I would do is I would actually put that in column three, the way it is set right now. I would put it in column 3, 4 on top of the red,
Okay.
because then that
And
gives
you got a
me
red
an
blue.
additional. I've got yellow, red, I've got red, blue, I've got yellow, blue. I've got yellow, yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's giving me, I got blue, blue. It's pretty much giving me almost everything I need because right now, seeing the no red, blue gives me a little bit of pause. So depending on my mood and maybe who I'm playing,
Right.
will depend on where I would put this. But those would be the two places that I see.
You want to hear a really stupid play?
Hmm.
Tucking it into 7-8,
No, that's not a bad play either.
especially if you
But
see a double yellow. But
they're just there's really no advantage to it because you've already got the yellow blue in 6, 7 that you don't need to make it in 7, 8. It's already kind of there.
yeah,
So I don't know that it's a great play, but it's not terrible. Like I could see myself doing that on occasion, but I don't think it's the right play in this
yeah.
situation.
One of the things I like to do is just think through every possible move and see if any of them are also interesting. The only reason I
Hmm.
like that one is if you get it, say you get a double yellow, especially if it's in the next box, then
Hmm.
a red blue followed by any blue, and you get yourself a T clear immediately. But yeah,
Hmm.
I don't love the play. I think it's interesting, and unfortunately,
So
that's my downfall is interesting.
I think it requires too many
Oh yeah,
pills to get to that point. And so, you ask any Fight Cave player, they'll tell you, or any Dr. Mario player, period, they're going to tell you that the first combo is
yeah,
so important, especially if you can get it not only before they get it, but before they have a chance to drop anything on your board. So
mm-hmm.
sometimes you get it like a split second before they do, but by the time you get it, they get it also just
Mm-hmm.
right after.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you're both trashed down at the same time more. Um, but yeah, that combo is real important, which is why I like to have pretty much all available depending on what the next sequence of pills is going to be.
Right. And yeah, I mean, a lot of this depends on what's the next pill look like. But yeah, no, I agree. Six
Mm-hmm.
seven is the most logical option. Let's see what you go with, and I'm curious what the second. Oh, it's a sequel. So yeah,
And
that.
see, that's the red blue where it would have
Mm-hmm.
been beneficial actually to put it over there in that particular sequence. It would have worked better.
Right.
So it's unconventional, and I don't see a lot of people. It does work sometimes at that beginning stage because, like I said, that first combo is very important, and you never really truly know what the first set of pills is going to be, unless, of course, you've happened to have memorized that board. But
Right. Yeah, and we may be hitting a point in the life of these tournaments where unconventional may just be the thing. We may find somebody who can pull off unconventional and change the way we see the world. Boy, that was a salty run back.
yeah, I have a bad habit. So, and I want to apologize to anybody that I've started just immediately the game immediately on and without taking a break. It is a habit that I formed over 15 years of playing Neo
Sure.
Speedo because we would just go right into it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm trying to develop, some patience, but natural habit is okay, game's over, hit start,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and so I've been working on that, and I do apologize to
Oh,
anybody. And
that's
if I do that to anybody and it really upsets them, by all means, I'll give you a free crown. Like we'll make it okay.
all right. So this double blue. So the speed play is
You,
7-8. I mean, that's just the pure speed play. And I
and
wonder.
it's the I think it's better play here too because your whole top two rows are blue and
Mm-hmm,
yellow, and you need to clear something out for red.
mm-hmm.
So at least taking those blues out clears up at least a yellow red, if nothing else,
Right. I
because you've
100%
got all the
agree.
yellow blue combinations you need.
Yeah. And you know what? If there's another double blue coming down right after it, because sometimes the first and second pills will show up the same. I'm stacking it
Mm-hmm.
vertically on 3 and just waiting for the yellows to start raining down because I feel like that's just the right play. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree that at this point your board health is much more critical than finding a combo first thing.
Yeah.
So,
And there's just not a lot of available options unless
mm-hmm.
you just happen to get all your pills from the get go. So I
Yeah.
like the idea of opening that up. Unless I see something with the next pill that changes that, I think that's where I would go for sure.
What pill would change that? Out of curiosity.
A double, well, yeah, so maybe a double red. If a double red was the
Mm,
may put like the double blue all the way into column 8
mm-hmm.
vertically
Mm-hmm.
and put the reds on
Yeah.
top of column 5 and then wait for the drop to
Right.
drop
Right.
the
Right.
reds
That makes sense. That makes
by
sense.
clearing out the blues. But
Okay. Yeah. No, that's completely fair. All right. Well, let's see what the next one was, and it was a red blue. Okay. And that's an interesting opening sequence because I was thinking, what if there's a red blue coming up next? And again, speed has a very different focus, I guess is the right word,
mhm,
because my thought is let's put it over where the red and blue are next.
mhm.
So it was interesting seeing you play it regardless of where it was. But man, that was it. That was it. That was over. 1, 2, 3. That's a Nolan Ryan turn out there. Just 3 strikeouts. But yeah, it's really interesting and watching you play in practice. I kept seeing things and I'm like, man, there's a lot here that because you have very specific um, setups that you tend to do that
Mhm.
I can tell that they're just their habit. You
Mhm.
immediately go, okay, this is what I need to do because I've done this, and this. And yes, I am
Mhm.
stalling just a little bit because I'm trying to find your match. Uh, oh, there we go. We get a skip. That's good. So, I really do want to pick your brain out of some of this, and I'm not sure where there we go. Okay, so you're in here somewhere.
I think the next one was Sazzy, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
All right. And I'm going to turn the audio on so maybe we can figure
Okay,
out
I'll take it.
when you guys are talking and when we're actually starting.
And who?
There's me
Betty B
hollering in the
crushing it on the
back.
computers.
Big Shoe. As and
Okay.
we're gonna get us counted down.
Okay, so matchup against Sassy. Did you get a chance to see her in Cincinnati?
Yeah, I'm. That's where I met her for the first time, and
Same.
she was doing a lot of the work behind the scenes with the cameras and stuff like that, and the scorekeeping. And um, but I'd only played her a few times, a handful of times, maybe in VBL, a couple times on Fight Cage. So not someone I play a lot, but I was very well aware what she was capable of.
Yeah, she's just the times that I've seen her play, she's just growing by leaps and bounds in quality of play,
Yes.
and it's been something else. So yeah, it was getting real at this point. It says preliminary at the top, but we know better.
Yeah, yeah. This was one where maybe my game changes a little bit
Hmm.
due to who I'm playing. The first round, if I don't recognize the person, I'm probably going to maybe wrongfully assume that they are not going to be on the same level of the people that I play on a
Hmm.
consistent basis on Fightcade. Um, so one day that's probably going to come back and bite me. But I may change the game up a little bit and try and overwhelm. Whereas with Sassy, I know what she's capable of, and I always still try to overwhelm if it's there.
Right.
But if it's not there, then maybe instead of just trying to come out the gate comboing like crazy, I may say, all right, I need to bring my board down a little bit and just
Hmm.
play at a safe level. Now on 11 medium, it's not
That's.
nearly as crucial
Hmm.
uh, because the top out threat isn't nearly as big
Right.
on 11 medium, but that would be probably the only difference as far as playstyle goes that I would change with Sassy here.
Yeah. All right, and I mean, we're looking at. It's funny because you tapped over once, and first off, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's the absolute perfect move. Secondly, with the two pills that are in front of you, I know exactly what you're going to do. It's funny when that
Mm-hmm.
works out because I'm not a versus player that much, but I'm like, yeah, no, this is going in 3-4. The yellow's going vertically in 3, and you're
Mm-hmm.
waiting for blues.
Yeah, there's a couple that could do this depending on what the would be. So yellow probably over the double yellow. Sometimes I would actually put in column 7.
Seven.
Be me two reds and two yellows next to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and that opens up the red yellow combo. Um, Even though I already kind of have a red yellow, I'm blocking it off a little bit with this move, the first move.
Okay.
So I think double yellow either is going to go vertically on column 3 on the next pill or vertically in column 7, just
Okay.
depending, I guess, on what mood I'm in.
Well, that's what we're here to find out. And okay, yeah. Oh, and
Oh, and see,
I
I didn't do
mean,
either,
no,
which
no, that was 3.
was not a good move. I don't know why I would have put it over there.
No,
To me, that's kind of the worst place. It's not really setting anything up.
you're watching Sazzy's board. You're on the right.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're
Because
right.
you
So
did
wait,
exactly what
run that back.
Yeah, let me run it
Yeah,
back for you.
I wouldn't do that because that doesn't set anything up on the
Right,
right
right,
hand
right.
side, other than just clearing it out. Is when you clear that out, you're going to be left with blue on
But
that side. And as I think it was Crimson likes to say, it's the rarest pill in the game.
yeah,
So setting up for blue doesn't usually work out well for me, at least.
yeah. Even in speed, that's not like I agree. I don't think that pill placement is going to prioritize the best options for you. So no, I watching you on the right hand side there, I was just like, oh yeah, this is exactly it, and you get the
Yeah.
right pills to make this sequence perfectly. You're gonna get a triple out of it, no trouble.
Okay. Yeah, it's yellow, blue, red, blue, red. Okay.
Yeah, and it's there. You goes 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
and you're already setting up for the next combo. There's the next one. There's the next one. This is relentless, sir. This might be a war crime. The game.
This is one of those. It's like, okay, this is just working out perfectly. You're
Hmm.
getting every pill that you want at the time you want it, and when
Yeah.
that happens, it happens against me a lot too. Like I go, my start my, and let's say Rodzilla's or somebody that I'm playing, and then it's like the pills don't come for me at all, and they come for him perfectly, and vice versa sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just one of those times where it's like, oh, this is lovely.
And your speed was such that you were able to just keep the combos rolling, and you didn't run into issues of garbage. So you're just working down your board.
Mhm.
It's always so cool when you can see somebody manage that. So you guys are
And
into the next. Yes.
I was going to say, and the timing of the combos is very important too. And I definitely have not mastered that, but being able to space out the combos at a particular time, depending on where they are at their board,
Mm-hmm.
just keeps that garbage falling at a perfect pace.
Right.
And Neo's very good at that. I played him so where I look over at his board after he's comboed me, and he's got another combo immediately after, and he kind of just sits back for a second,
Mm-hmm.
lets it drop a little on my board, and then hits me again. So it's uh, some people are really, really good at that. I haven't mastered that yet.
I was going to ask, are you somebody who more often finds that two doubles is better than a quad, as far as, if you're going to be able to drop two combos before your opponent before your opponent is able to get their next pill down, are you going to wait just a second, go ahead and let the first double go, and then set it down so that then you're completely stun locking them? Or do you like just having that four block come down with no effort, and then hopefully it's really wrecking their board? And I guess it just depends on where they are in their board.
So early on in the game, if you're playing 14 high and they're already starting from a high standpoint, it would be better to put four at the same time.
Fair enough.
But if they're low on their board, it's, to me, much more beneficial to just keep combos coming consistently, because the drop time is so much longer.
Yeah.
That I would much rather have them spaced perfectly to where, they got to wait the 3 or 4 seconds for that garbage to drop, and then they got to wait another 3 or 4 seconds for another one to drop. Whereas you put four, maybe their board's built up on the right and left, and really only three do anything. Not all four do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But early it would be much more beneficial to do four, because you're automatically going to put something in column 4 and 5, which of course, as you know, is the
Yep.
most dangerous
Critical.
at the beginning of the game.
Yep. All right. I like the answers. I like getting inside your head. This is great. So, all right. So we got a double red followed by double blue on this board. It looks like you're going to go 4 followed by 5, or do you? I mean, you're not going to go 1-2 after that, are you?
Yeah, double red, double blue. That's pretty straightforward. I
Okay.
can't imagine doing anything different.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Good.
This will,
That's just cruel. It's okay. Yeah. Oh, interesting going right side on that instead of left, and trying to get the. Okay, let me back it up so I can say what I'm talking about here.
Yep.
So right here with
Yeah.
two blue yellows, I would have leaned myself more to 3-4 with both of them.
I should have.
Okay.
Because it depends on, I don't know what was happening if she was comboing me.
Mm,
Because if she was in the middle of sending a combo right now and I heard that, and this is where the audio cues come
yeah.
in,
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
then it would make sense to put it in column 6 and 5, and just get the combo to send right back to her, so you've got time to reset
Yeah. No,
after
that
the
makes
trash
sense.
falls. But if I don't hear the combo, then yeah, ideally it would be the next two pills in column 3, 4, to create that drop T, if you will. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all the terms 100%
No,
yet,
actually,
but
you wouldn't even get the drop T out of it. It would just be a drop
no,
horizontal.
yeah, just be a two. Yeah, so
But you would have a
I
red
don't know.
yellow
I
set
mean,
up.
there's I'm not sure the right answer.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, yeah.
it could
And
go either way on this.
but again, that's a speed thing. I like the pretty. Actually,
Mhm.
gosh, you could drop this vertically in 4. It takes the triple followed by the double.
Yeah, and actually, I think that would bring the blues down and create a horizontal with the blues
Yeah,
too.
yeah. It would
Yeah,
draw. It would be.
that would be a really nice way to do it too. And especially with the next pill being blue yellow, you still have the two blues, two yellows that are going to be in column 5, or yeah, 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would actually be a really nice way to do it. That's not a
Interesting.
typical play I do a lot.
Yeah.
I see Betty make that play a lot, and it's not one that I've developed a habit of doing, um, especially at the beginning when I'm trying to go just as quick as I can.
Right.
That's one where, oh, if I look at the board for a second, I see it, but I don't necessarily see it right off the bat.
And yeah, I mean, you heard it in real time. That was me figuring that out in real time.
Hmm.
It was not the first thing I saw either. Because in my mind, I was just going, okay, you go 3-4 for this and get your drop combo and everything. But yeah, that's a much cleaner combo too, and it knocks 5
Yeah,
viruses
and
off the board.
less drop time too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like that.
Huh.
The only downside to that combo is it's going to leave you with red in column 1 2, and it's going to leave you with red. Oh no. Yeah, it'll leave you with red in column 7 and 8.
Yes.
So all four of your ends are going to be red, and I'm not wild about that,
Right.
but
Right. Right.
I think you wouldn't be able to see that in real time. You wouldn't be able to, unless you're maybe snipe. I don't think you
I
can
was
see
gonna
that and be
say,
like, oh yeah, that's going to cause a problem.
interviewing Snipe, that was pretty much all we talked about. Was it seemed like his ability to find every combination pair and know exactly where he was going to put any next pill. I,
Hmm.
oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
about that man.
he's on another level, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, but you did get a quick, and it's a half second of drop time. Bing, bang, boom, you're done. And it's hard to find fault with it, especially because another blue yellow, and you get that.
Hmm.
So
This was a little risky there. You know, I was fortunate to be able to bring that down, but that was a little risky because it wasn't like the next pill was going to clear that out. I had to hope for the best, and
right,
I find that that's usually not a good strategy.
right. I was gonna say there's a reason I'm commentating and not talking about my wins here. It's I've learned a lot from watching really good players play, and I've made no secret of the fact that the whole reason I'm even doing oh, that was a nice drop combo. The whole reason I'm even doing this is to get better myself. But
Hmm.
yeah, I see
Well,
interesting things, and that's about it. Go ahead,
I
tell me
think,
what you're
I
seeing.
mean, I've played you, enough to know that if if you put the time into like Fightcade, like the versus scene, you'd be good in no time. I've watched you do speed runs, and I've thought to myself, God, I could never do that. Like, there's no way I could be even close to as good as he is at the speed side. So, you've put a lot of time and effort. So clearly, you have the skills to do it. You just, you know, you
I
have to want
appreciate that, but I
to
see
put in
that
the time. But no, I think you definitely could do it.
I see you play, and I'm always thinking the same thing about the speed. Is yeah, we could get this guy into speed. He'd be crazy.
People say that, but I don't think I would be at all. I've tried, like, just on the practice screen on Fightcade
Hmm.
to see, oh, how quickly can I get through these? And I don't think about combos.
Sure.
It's just second nature. And there's so many times that you don't want to take the combo, or it needs to be a different combo with less drop time. And uh, I would be terrible at speed unless I practiced a lot. And unfortunately, I just like versus too much that I don't know that I could put the effort into that.
That's fair. I'm always proselytizing for speed just because I want to see as big a group as we can get out of it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think I would enjoy it to a point, but as soon as it started affecting my versus game is where I would kind of be like, oh, this is not what I was wanting.
yeah. All right, so we can talk about this setup that you're putting
Okay.
together here. Why is my first
Um.
question.
Well, I mean, I look at like, so what am I doing here? Is what you're saying?
Um, I can see what you're doing. I'm trying to figure out why you're doing it.
I've got. I probably at this point feel like I have time because I don't feel like I'm in danger of topping out.
Okay.
So I'm setting up either the ability to get triples or quads, or the ability to get um, multiple combos in a row.
Hmm.
Um, I don't. I don't know what my next move is going to be here because there's a few ways that you could do it depending on what the pill after this is going to be.
The pill after this
But
is
I'm
the one you
thinking
use to set off the whole combo.
the pill after this is
Mm-hmm.
the one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got red, yellow in the middle, which drops off a whole bunch of stuff. Vertical in column 5. That would drop. That would be a quad or more, but obviously you only get 4.
Right.
The blue, yellow. I think here, depending on what the next pill would be, I would place it um, horizontal, the opposite way that it's facing right now in column 4, 3.
Okay.
But if it's the next pill is blue, red,
Mm-hmm. Which I think it
I'm
is.
probably going to place it. I'm going to place it in 4, 5, the way it is, and then try and put the blue, red on top of that, and then the next blue triggers a whole mess of stuff.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, well that's one
4.
way of doing it too.
Okay, it was just 4. So you did.
Yeah.
What I was worried about was an over combo, and I was just,
Oh, where it's more than 4.
yeah.
I never pay attention to that. If it's more than 4, I'm happy. You know, I'm okay with that as long as I get the 4 garbage.
Yeah. You were building up this monster, and I'm just like, what's the purpose? I mean, obviously you're trying to get a combo.
Well, and it, not only trying to get a combo, but it the entire board down and gets me out of any danger that happens because got stuff stacking up on her, and I'm looking at my board and going, okay, unless she stun locks me anytime soon, which it looks like she's in the start of doing that, I should be okay.
Right. I just looked at it and I went, okay, I start building something like that, and I know for a fact that my opponent's going to crack.
It's going to get blocked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every time I've played I played Swong one too many times to believe that this is going to work. So that's
well, I've had to adjust against a lot of people that do that to me frequently and be like, okay, I don't have time to build this stuff. I just need to get what's there and move on. Rodzilla is great at putting trash down where it needs to be to block me, and in the process bringing his whole board down while doing it, and he gives me fits sometimes. So against him, I probably would have just been like, I don't have time to build this. I have to do it right now.
Right.
But again, going back to 11 medium, you have more time to do these things, and
okay. Perfectly reasonable answer. I couldn't make sense of it, and if nothing else, it's gonna make me better at commentary, because if I can't make sense of it now, I can't make sense of it while I'm doing live commentary.
Well, I'm not a conventional player. I've had a lot of people, say that about me. That I think in nationals, Tomahawk and Hot Rod were commentating a lot on my first few qualifier matches, and they're like, "Oh, and he's going to put this here. Oh no, we're just going to stop guessing on what Coop's going to do because we just have no clue." And so I do get that a lot. That I'm kind of an unconventional player. But
those are the players
I
that
definitely have a lot of room for improvement, and sometimes things that I do work and sometimes they don't. But I think that's kind of the most everybody,
Yeah, I mean, it's the unconventional players that change the game. We've seen that. We've seen that with speed, and I think we're seeing some of the effect of speed on diverses as well. As you get, your players. Betty she's always my example for stuff like that, because she blends the two in a way that most people can't. And
beautifully.
Yeah. And she finds these interesting plays that work well in both situations. And once the community,
I actually feel like if she would concentrate solely on one or the other, she'd be unstoppable in whatever she chose to concentrate on. Right. I think, it's amazing that she does so well in both, because to me, that's really tough to do, because they're two completely different styles of play. And it's a testament to her skill level for sure.
But, you look at Snipe and he does, actually, you look at Adelito as well.
Hmm.
Arguably the two best players in the game at what they do. And
Hmm.
it does feel like they take that blend of styles. Snipe is great at finding combos, but where he excels, where nobody else can, is in finding combos that will also work his board down.
Yes,
That was a
and
go ahead.
minimize drop time. Like
Hmm.
that's one thing that he's very good at too, is he really minimizes his drop time on his combos because again, going back to listening to the sounds, you'll hear the sound of a combo being made by your opponent, and then there will be an amount of time between that sound and the time trash drops
Right.
on your board. So you also know how efficient the combo was when you see that. And sometimes it's like it feels like every time I hear that noise, the trash is already on my board. It's
Hmm.
so fast and it gives you no time to think what you need to do in that moment. And that's dangerous. And that's one of the many reasons he's just so good.
And I think one of the reasons that your massive combo there confused me is for all of the beauty of it, it was 100% pills. None of it knocked any viruses out. And
On that last match?
yeah, yeah. The one where I
Okay.
stopped and I was just like, what am I looking at and why is it happening? Part of the reason was because it was just pure pills. And
Right.
that's an interesting thought for me is the idea of just setting up that many pills because is speed you don't do that at all. But
Right.
even with speed
The pills
players,
are in your way. If the pills are in your way from the
hmm,
viruses, you still have to clear them out eventually.
right,
So if you can clear that many out in one drop, it still then opens up the viruses. So it's still a necessary
sure,
um, evil you got to deal with. Uh, so I definitely understand you want to clear viruses on every combo you do, but in versus, you know, keeping your opponent on their toes is every bit as important as, clearing your viruses out because um, if you can rattle them in the process of doing that, that's where you win the games.
right,
Not just focusing on one or the other, you know, doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. You kind of have to focus on both.
right. And that's again, I think that's where Snipe found
Mhm.
his real strength is just finding ways to do that where us mere mortals
Mhm.
are just sitting there going, okay, well, I can do one or the other.
And it's scary because he's improving. That's the problem
Yeah.
that I'm having. It's like when I first played him a couple years ago when I first joined Fightcade, he was great, but he looked beatable. Like I was
Hmm.
like, okay, if I can get to where I need to be, I can beat this guy. But the problem is he keeps improving at least at the rate we're all improving, and
Hmm.
it's like
Hmm.
uh, at some point, and he says it too. He says at some point I'm going to run out of room to improve, and I'm thinking I feel like you should be there now, but apparently you're not.
Yeah, I'm running into that problem with speed. Is I'm improving at the same rate as the rest of the community at large, which
Mhm.
just means that I've gone from being a 10 to 15 seed to being a 10 to 15 seed with better
Right.
qualifiers.
Yeah, but just a better version of yourself. Yeah.
It's just where we are now. All right. So I'm looking at this board. I've been looking at this board. I think 1-2 is the best option you've got, but it blocks off your blue, and I don't like it. I don't like any of the move options you have, but I think 1-2 may be the best. Tell me
Yeah, I
what
think
you're
that's where I
thinking.
would probably go
Okay.
on this.
Yeah. So you thinking just
Then the
slam
next
the
pill.
slam it down because that at
Um,
least gives you something to do with blues?
but it still doesn't give a lot to do with
It
blues. I
really
think
doesn't.
what I would probably do is move to 1 and 2, and then the next pill, looking at the board and having time to think. It might not be what I actually do. I would actually then slam the next pill straight down right in those middle
Okay.
columns because then that creates a yellow blue overhang,
Right.
which that would give me yellow red and yellow blue,
Right.
and then it would also give me blue red. Or
Hmm.
no, I'm sorry, no, just yellow red and blue yellow.
Right.
So I think that's what I would do, but
Yeah,
I'm
because the
not
blue
not really
red's
sure.
going to clear the reds. But yeah, I can't
Hmm.
think of a better option than just slamming that second pill down either. So, all right, let's see what you
Yeah.
do. Okay,
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
I don't hate that
Yeah.
play at all, especially with what's coming next.
Yeah, and you have to have confidence in your speed to to
Mm-hmm.
to do that because if you don't have confidence that you're going to get the pills you need before they can combo you or before they can stun lock you, then that's a move that will kill you.
I don't have confidence in a
But
lot of things. Got
I
confidence in
think
that.
11 medium gives you confidence to be able to make that play, and maybe I wouldn't have made that on
Yeah.
14 high.
Like I was saying, I don't have confidence in a lot of things. My speed is definitely something I've got confidence in. So interesting. Okay, yeah, I was wondering if you were going to set up the T clear there on the blues, and there we go. And you've got this interesting setup in the middle of your board with these reds on top of the yellows, and you're going to ignore it. And that, it's definitely a more efficient versus way of playing. But every speed player is just like, okay, cool, we're going to fat log that at some point. But there's no way you can count on that actually showing up.
Right, and that's the difference between speed. You say at some point. Well, that point may not happen in
Right.
versus because someone's throwing garbage on it, But in speed, where you don't have to worry about the garbage, you're right. At some point, you'll get that fat log, but if you wait too long in versus, it just doesn't come.
Yeah. And it's just that pair of horizontals. You're just like, okay, cool. This is the right way to go to get these combos, and it'll reduce drop time. It's going to be a very nice and efficient play. And yeah, no, it's just not there. But you're about to get.
And at this point, I'm probably seeing her board and going, okay, this is just keep the pressure going, because once you get to that level, it is so hard to do anything.
Right.
With you pretty much have to rely on getting perfect pills to get out of that. And so those situations, I just try and keep the pressure.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Going.
Is that me messing with the camera? It's probably me messing, or Chris. Chris and I think are the only ones who actually mess with the Game Boy camera. Looking at my preview there. So, all right, let's get along. And since you're top half of the bracket, you're probably going to get an ad here. There we go. So your next matchup is going to be against Betty, and then winner of that plays the winner of DSS and Watchma. So that's by the way, the only 4 winners of this tournament are right there in that top quarter.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hey, look, there's
I hadn't won yet.
No, but
I didn't want to see Betty in the first round. I was like, oh, that one. Not that necessarily I wanted to see Watchma or Dave Smith either, but yeah, Betty gives me so much trouble on Fightcade that and the monthlies, and I was like, oh, this is a tough first round draw.
Yeah. All right, let me get enough sound to figure out if we are closing in on. No, that was just practice. Okay. For some reason, we don't have tournament sound, so I'll just figure it out from here. I don't think you guys. Yeah, I think y'all were just playing around. All right, so yeah, it's Betty, and Sazzy is a good warm up to that, but Betty's on a level that.
Yeah, I think they're both extremely talented. I think Betty just has more speed.
Oh yeah,
and obviously the unique combos that she knows, But yeah, it's definitely. I knew this was going to be a big challenge for me.
Perfect. Get it on the frame before you start moving things. Double yellow followed by a blue yellow.
I think the right move for me on this would normally be just to throw it vertically in column 8, because I like the way the board is set, where I've got the blue red on the left. I've got the red yellow on 2 to 3, and then I've got the yellow blue in 4 and 5, and the red yellow. If blue red on the left, column 1 and 2, I have red yellow on column 6 and 7. So I kind of like in this situation just throwing it vertically in column 8, but I think there's really a lot of ways you could go on this particular board.
Yeah, I think either 7, 8, or 8 are both the best options.
Or 7, 8 horizontally, that would work as well.
Yeah, but I mean, with this blue yellow coming up, you just want to avoid those
I want to
yellows
get
in
to
three
that.
four.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that blue yellow and I want to get to that first
Mm-hmm.
quickly.
Mm-hmm. Makes
So I
sense.
don't want to take too much time placing these. Oh, and what did I do there? Oh, wait. Yeah. What
What?
did I do there? I don't know what I did there because that really makes no sense at all.
You've hurt me, sir.
Um, yeah, I really have no clue what I was thinking there. I think maybe I was trying to get to the blue yellow quick and didn't realize it, but I screwed up the reason why I wanted the blue yellow.
Well, if it makes you feel
Um,
any better, Betty also put it 3-4 herself.
but she's in a better position than I am for
She is,
sure. Like
yes.
I would definitely rather be where. Matter of fact, I think I remember this crown. I started off really rough. If I remember, if this is the one I'm thinking of, um, yeah, I put myself in a bad position early, and she was working her board down quickly, and I was just at the top. And that first move is probably the big reason why. That was just a
Interesting.
terrible move. I got a double yellow coming next, so at least
Mhm.
I can put it next to it, but
Right.
still not what I would want.
But I mean, you're just going to put this blue yellow down 5-6, and it's, yeah, no, okay.
It might be just to get to the double yellow, but see, even then, I don't really do. I don't know. That was
Well, I mean,
just not a great move.
you did get first
It
combo.
worked. Yeah, but
At
I
what
just don't
cost?
know what I was thinking to do. I got fortunate there. I don't think it was because it was a good move at all.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, y'all are both having a
And
bit
see,
of a
now I haven't
struggle.
left myself with anything for yellow reds, and I think, yeah, I'm not liking the way my board looks.
Yeah, this is a tough place to be. Betty's not in a much better position, though. You guys have
Yeah,
done a number on each other already.
yeah, maybe this isn't the one I was thinking of then, because she's pretty high up, and there's one where she cleared her board so fast, and I had to make a comeback. This isn't this isn't the one.
Yeah. And it's these boards, the board degrades so fast in verses. That's something that I have never gotten used to, is just how quickly your board just falls apart. And
Hmm.
especially if you get an opponent who does combos well. All right.
And now we're on 14 high too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let me see if I can capture. Okay. So you've got a double red and you got a
Yeah,
double blue.
I think I mean with the double red, double blue, it's Betty. I think maybe I put the double red in column 8 vertical and then drop it with the blues. But it's not the best play, but it's probably all I really see right now.
Uh,
Um, I could also put the double red in column 5 and do the same thing, which might be a better play.
you appear to be aiming for 5. And yeah, I agree that that's the
Okay.
better play, because then you've got,
It's a longer drop, but
yeah, but you've got your
that's
yellow
the only.
options, and a yellow
Yeah,
red is just golden.
yeah.
So, all right. Yeah, that was your play. And yeah,
Okay.
the yellow blue coming right up after that. Oh, there's, okay, different way of doing the yellow red, but it's still a combo. I was thinking vertical, or putting the yellow red vertically in 6. We've
Hmm.
gotten rid of the double red, the double yellows, but at this point it's tomato.
Yeah, and a lot of times when I play someone like Betty or Rodzilla or Flindo or whoever, that that beginning is just so important because it's kind of like whoever gets the fast start typically has the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes I'm just in the mode of put it down as wherever the first place you see, and
Mm-hmm.
if it makes even a lick of sense now, I've gold pretty bad here, so probably not going to work out well.
That is an Adelito adage that the fastest play is the one you see first. So,
Yeah, fully agree with that.
all right.
Um,
Ooh, interesting. Okay, there you go. You finally get those reds horizontally. You had that set up and then
I
ignored it.
missed the opportunity for the T. Yep.
Well, I didn't even see the T. It was just,
Yeah.
getting, to me, a lot of times when you're this high up, the whole point is get the whole tide down,
Yep.
lower the tide at least one one height, and then maybe you can focus on moving things around. But whew, this is good survival here.
Yeah, I'm getting a
Ooh,
good
nice tee.
set of pills coming because there was only certain pills that were going to allow me to get out of that, and I was fortunate to get them. Now, not so much. At least the next.
Oh,
Oh,
because
the
you were
next pill
set
would have
up.
done it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were set up for the next pill. Not
Yeah.
even a got to flip it around sideways to keep it from, keep from screwing up sort of thing. It was just ready.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's Betty for you. Let me see if I can stop
Yeah.
us.
Absolutely.
2 yellow reds. It's got to be 3-4, right?
Um. Yeah. I mean, you could
I
do
mean,
3, 4, 7, 8, but I think 3, 4 makes the most sense. Yeah, because it also gives you that yellow blue, where you've got 2 blues, 2 yellows. So if you get a
mhm.
couple of those, then you can make the quick combo over there as well. So
I was just thinking 7-8 requires more movements. 3-4,
it
it's
does. Yeah.
right there. Because again,
Yep.
you're facing Betty,
Yep.
and that I think you're both going
Yeah.
to do
3, 4 is
this.
the best move for sure.
All right. And yeah, you definitely have your plays just kind of flying around here. And I don't hate this setting up the horizontal with the blues. It's just so high up. Okay, there you go. You got it that time. That garbage, when it gets that high, it's so scary.
Yeah. Well, and when I lose, it's more than often topping out early. Um, I've improved on my survival skills, compared to where I was when I first like joined Fightcade. Um,
I'm
but still a lot of
sure
room for improvement.
this community will definitely do that to you. And
Yeah.
yeah, let me back that up because I really like this play here. It's recognizing that the T clear is faster than the drop clear.
Hmm.
And well, I mean, plus it still gets out the same number of pill halves. So it might leave actually a dirtier board. Well, no, because your column 2 is now suddenly is blue topped, so it does make more sense. But just the speed of it, I really like that.
Hmm.
Saw that just a second ago. I was like, oh yeah, it's a good play. And that, 1, 2, 3, beautiful. Especially, I mean, at this point, are you super focused on your own board, or have you think you've glanced over and seen where Betty's standing and
Yeah,
going,
I think I've seen enough in my peripheral to see that, if I can keep the pressure on, and bury that red in column 4 before she has a chance to bring it all down. Like putting that there,
mm-hmm,
puts a lot of pressure on
right,
her. Um, and I'm not going to say there's very often times where I'm not just trying to continually put pressure. I mean, that's just the name of the versus game.
mm-hmm,
But there are times where it's like you set up something elaborate versus you just keep coming with them nonstop and don't
right,
really even care about your board so much as you're just like, okay, let me put so much pressure on her that I don't need to even worry about my board.
right.
Um,
And I hate this. And
mhm,
figuring out when to do which is always the
mhm.
thing that as somebody who doesn't play versus as much, that's one of the things that throws me off is, you know, trying to figure out when each approach is the appropriate one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um, it goes back to again, just I don't have anything red, yellow, or red, blue.
Mm-hmm.
So if I put it in 3, 4 horizontal, I make both
3-4
with
horse.
one
Yeah.
pill. So I've given myself the red, yellow, and the red, blue option because I have the blue, blue, and I have the blue, yellow already,
let me
and
tell you.
yellow, yellow. So.
Let me tell you what Betty's thinking, because she's going the same direction that I
Mhm.
lean, and that is that she's planning to stack up 7 and 8 with reds and yellows
Mhm.
and work on those blues horizontally. That is 100% what's
Yeah,
going through her mind right now.
Yeah, and that works too because essentially she's doing the same thing. She's creating a red yellow and a red blue. The only reason I choose to go in 3-4 is because she's making it one column higher than I'm making it. So on 14 high, I would prefer to do it with less height,
Mhm.
and also there's less flipping. So I should, in theory, be able to place my pill a hair quicker, but it's not going to be drastic because it's Betty and she's fast, so it's not really going to make too much of a difference. But um, the less flips you have to do and the less columns you have to move, the quicker you get your pill down.
Yeah, that wasn't a value
Um,
judgment. That's just I can tell you what's going through her head because I would have
yeah.
made the same move, but it's partially because it is a speed focused move. Uh, I
Okay.
think I think what you're putting together is more versus focused because I didn't even see. Yeah, putting it vertically in four with the red up. Now you've
Mhm.
got a chance to make. Or you said you were going to do 3-4. I think even
Yeah. Yeah.
vertically in four, you've got a chance to put then red blue. You're getting that blue out of the way. You're working on your
Mhm.
horizontals,
Yeah. You
and
could definitely do that as well.
it's a much more versus, and it centers all of your action early in the center of your board, which I think maybe something that versus players do that we speed players aren't as good at because our focus it tends to be on the edges of the board because if you have to clear, those are going to be your problem points. Whereas
Yeah.
in versus, your problem points the center of your board.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. I know that was way too much analysis, but I'm thinking this through myself as I'm talking to
Yeah.
you. And I don't get to talk to a lot of people who are pure versus players. Most of the ones I talk to are split. So, okay, cool. I feel like the guy who goes aliens. And yeah, she got one combo in the time it took you got to do two. It's very it shows the difference in the two play styles and how in this particular situation having that mindset can really be beneficial.
Yeah, I think I try to avoid doing vertical on good players, like how she placed that first pill vertical like that, and giving herself a little bit of a danger in that column. Uh, if I'm playing someone like Betty or some of the top notch players, it makes me nervous because I'm like they can run off so many combos quickly at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and if they all happen to fall in that column that I've placed that pill vertically in, it could be a quick death for me. So
Yeah, I mean, you're column three right now. It's giving me it's giving me problems. I'm looking at that and I can't.
and she keeps putting stuff
She
there too.
really does. I
Yeah.
see that and I can't not focus on that column because I
You
think to
got to be
myself,
careful though.
yeah, I
You
know.
got to be careful focusing on that too early because yeah, you can really if you misplace something, it's over. So sometimes you just kind of have to let it develop into something you can work with. And here I'm hoping to get those reds horizontal, finally get it and bring it down. Now I didn't even bring it down because I think all the trash he was throwing just covered it and
Oh,
can
there it
bring a little
goes.
bit down
Oh,
here.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying I've got a good approach to it. That's part of my problem is I'm looking at this going, I can't not focus on that because it's such an issue, and I know it's going to become an issue if I don't address it, and I'm terrified of that. Same thing that garbage on six suddenly becomes the only thing I can think about,
Hmm.
and I know
Um,
that's not healthy.
yeah, you got to be careful. That's what Minnie's problem was at when he first started playing was he would hyper focus. He would maybe misflip and throw something in column seven, and it would be stacked really high, and he would think, "I got to get to that immediately and clear that up," and then he would stack himself. And I kept telling him, I said, most of the people you're playing, you're faster than you just kill yourself because you feel the need that once something stacks up, the only way you can get it is stacking more stuff on top of it to clear it. And you have to find ways to get out of it horizontally, um, and hope that you get that opportunity. But sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're going to just you know suffer the consequences of being that high on your board. But trying to get something over there immediately after you make a mistake, I find is more often than not going to be detrimental.
You're raising a speed player, I hate to tell you. He's good at
Yeah,
versus, but
he's
you're raising
fast.
a
He
speed
really is
player.
fast.
You
He loves to combo too much. I don't know.
I
He's
don't
got
know.
that combo game.
It sounds like the
But I
tendencies
did
he's got. You may have to just you may have to get your streaming
to
going
give in.
just to give him a chance.
Yeah. Um,
Oh,
yeah, you
that was
never know.
nice.
He was good at speed when he was first learning. I was very impressed with his times for someone who just started. So
Hmm.
he probably would be pretty good at speed too.
But yeah, it sounds
Oh,
like
I've got a mess here.
you really do. Uh,
Mhm.
but it sounds like the tendencies that he's got. He really does have some speed tendencies, and I wonder how much of
Yeah,
that came from that being what you started him on.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it is. I mean, again, he's only a few months into this, so he's only had so much time to learn. But yeah, it's encouraging how quickly he's taken, um, how quickly he's improving. I don't know what I'm going to do here, to be honest with you. I think blues. I can get maybe a tee set up or something for those blues, but
I mean, it's going to take a double blue at
not,
this point.
yeah, I don't like the setup
Oh,
at all.
there's a
The
double
double
blue.
blues coming, but not the right time for me.
Yeah. Well, you've got the option
Um,
for the yeah, but oh no, I don't like any of this.
yeah, it's this is where I'm probably going, okay, maybe if somehow I can rattle off a bunch of combos, she's kind of high up on our board,
Hmm.
maybe I can get her that way because I don't really see a lot of real clear paths out of this.
Right.
So I'm probably focusing on keeping pressure on her and maybe hoping she makes a mistake.
And I mean, this is the first time you've been on speed 50 all day, and
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I remember this board actually because if I remember, I think this is the one that gets up to much higher speeds because I do bring a lot of this stuff down if I remember correctly. Um, because everybody talks about the next match, about match of the year and all that because of
mhm.
what happened, but this match was actually more exciting for me
Well, I mean, it's
because
feeling
it,
exciting
it
right
got
now.
really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got really fast at the end. So, and those are fun. I actually enjoy those because it's such a challenge.
Hmm.
Um, they just normally don't work out for me when they get that fast, but they are fun to play. I think I had a conversation with Perula one time about that, and she was saying she loves to play high up on her board, and she's like, I practice on 20 high or whatever, and so she's so used to it, and she's so good at it.
Yeah, that's how I warm up. If you ever come into a tournament and you see that like all of the all of the machines are sitting on the post 20 high uh congratulations screen, it's because I was just goofing around trying to scare people. uh,
Hmm.
it's 100% it was me. Oh, and a double red rush right there, not what you wanted to see. I sound like
Yeah,
my
and
commentary self.
here I'm
Ooh.
thinking, oh, I'm dead, and I just was very fortunate to
Ooh.
get that piece, and uh, yeah, this was survival mode until it turned into, hey, I'm actually clearing some of this stuff out.
Yeah, that red yellow in column 2 I'm assuming was misflipped.
Yeah,
I can't imagine wanting to keep your board that high at this point.
yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
I think I'm just
Well, I mean, your horizontals are an option still in so many places.
I think I want to clear out column 5 and get to a place where I can start slipping stuff underneath there.
Hmm.
And so once I can bring that all down, yeah, here we go.
Oh, oh, that's
Um,
gross.
Now I've got a much more workable board, even though the speeds are high. At least I have a chance to move the pills more than just 2 or 3 columns.
Yeah, yeah. You found a good place. Of course, now Betty has her board pretty well cleared down. You know, you're still mostly clearing garbage, and she's
Hmm.
finding, she's down where she can start clearing pills. Of course, you do the same right there. There's a combo, and the blues. Do you ever umbrella?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
all the
there it
time.
is. Okay, I say that and
Yeah,
you immediately drop one.
yeah.
Interesting that what you were covering up is immediately what you drop garbage into. Uh,
Oh, that was a misflip.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Hmm. Ugh, couldn't get it where I wanted it there either. This is where the speed started really,
Yeah,
making a difference, and uh, you only have so much time to maneuver the pill.
yeah, that 63 speed is no joke. And this is where the stamina really becomes a question. You have to be able to maintain that mental state for so
Hmm.
long. I'm getting tired watching you. Granted, it's quarter after 11, but uh,
Yeah, this is such an increase.
mm-hmm.
Going to that 65, I feel like is just noticeably faster.
Bidwell will tell you exactly when the 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 speed really feels different, because you can
Yeah.
say it's an increase of this, increase of that, but like the feeling that you get is at specific points. Yeah, and at this point, you guys are actually racing to clear, which nobody expects at these speeds.
Yeah, I think it's not just a race to clear, it's a race to keep your board down.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can clear in the process, great, but it's just trying to give yourself room to work, because once you get this high at these speeds, it's just a matter of time before you're gonna top out.
Right. Now, there's a school of thought about these. Yeah, once you hit 70, which you just hit, did not realize it.
Stop comboing.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
do you land on that school of thought?
It can be effective. I think a lot of it depends on where they are on their board too. If they're high up, comboing isn't necessarily a bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
because you might block off column 4 or 5, and then they've got no place to maneuver the pill. But if they're low,
Oh,
then
there it
yeah,
goes.
yeah, that's what was that, 72?
Yeah, 72.
Yeah, that felt like just too fast. You just couldn't maneuver it.
I think it's
Uh,
I think that's two row, or a row every two frames, or no, it's, I don't even know. That was,
it's just fast.
yeah, I forget exactly what
It's,
19
it's
speed is, but
it's
whew.
hard to move.
So how do you come back after a game like that? Do you
It takes a second to adjust, because now you've been playing 72 speed and you're back to whatever this speed is. I don't
right?
know off the top of my head, but um, so it does take a second to adjust, and then once you put the first, I would say maybe 6 or 7 pills down, you're normally back to normal. But um, the first few pills, you got to be a little bit cautious.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. And you're in luck here because 1, 2, and 7, 8 are the two best options. So
1, 2 specifically.
you like 1, 2 better. Okay.
Yeah, because you don't want to block your only red blue,
Okay.
and if you put it off to the left, you're not blocking anything off. You're just putting you, because right next to it's another blue yellow. So
Right.
yeah, I definitely like 1, 2 better here, because then the red blue is still open, red yellow is still open. Yeah, you kind of have everything.
It's so weird because the speed answer is 7, 8, because you've got the option for taking those reds in a T, but again, it's not as fast
Hmm.
and it requires too much else. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting.
name of the game here is get the quick combos as
Yeah,
fast as you can, and you don't know what's coming next. So if red blues start coming, you're gonna want that open.
it's crazy. All right, so you're gonna go 1, 2, and there goes Betty goes to 7, 8. It's almost
That's the
like
speed.
it's almost like we're predictable.
Yeah, but that's the reason being that I think inverse is Um, and you don't really know what's coming next. You're basically just playing odds,
Right.
But um, I feel like in versus, you have to play odds
Hmm.
because you don't know the pill pattern. And
I mean, we do a little of the same, but not nearly as much. And I
yeah,
mean, you do know some of the pill patterns, and knowing
yeah,
that knowing the double, knowing your circle of whatever helps. But yeah, I think it's more critical for us than for y'all.
that I'm playing with fire here. It's kept avoiding that, dropping that down, waiting for the right pill. Probably not the smartest move. Um, but I get myself in real trouble here. That blocking that off,
Yeah,
and she
blocking
just
six
did
is
that hurt.
tough.
Yeah. Um, I think this is the one where, yeah, this is the famous match, and she gets me in really a lot of trouble here.
Part of me just doesn't want to commentate on it after that introduction. I think I ever noticed how much of a gum chewer you are.
Yeah, the pace picks up on the chewing of gum while I'm stressing. I that was one of the things I was so nervous about doing my first live was I'm like, at home I can make whatever stupid faces I want to make, and nobody sees me, and I'm like, I'm going to end up making one of those really stupid faces. So I thought, well, if I chew gum, then maybe it'll keep my face in one position and I won't look like an idiot.
I will tell you that that got brought up in commentary around Savage a few years back, and I never
Hmm.
understood the decision. The decision by the commentator to say something, and it 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 messed with her head for a little while, and I really wasn't happy about that. Most of us now, we're
Like
not
someone
gonna
commented on how she looked or something when she was playing, or
on making shaking her head in a specific way or something. She
right.
looked
Okay.
pretty frustrated at this or that, and I just
Hmm.
disagreed with. Oh right, this
Yeah.
one. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. 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 This is the famous wait, I won.
Yeah,
Because you can see it on my face when it happens because I know that the next pill is a top out. And I think Ibar was the one who mentioned that the fact that I moved that red coming to the left, just one frame, like one little spot, was, I guess, enough to
mm-hmm.
make her top out before me. And, I knew that moving the red over was going to do nothing other than buy me a millisecond of time. And I think
Right.
it's just that's habit, try and buy yourself as much time as you can before you top out. But she missed, I think she misflipped or either had that or a miss. It looked more like a missed input, which I felt really bad because
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think she misflipped. I think it was just a missed input. And, or maybe oh, you know what though? She did. She kind of moved it over I think she was trying to go underneath.
yeah. I think, or possibly this
And
yellow red. She might have been trying to flip over, or maybe
oh, that
underneath.
would be risky. I think maybe she just moved it too quickly to the right when she was probably trying to go up underneath.
Yeah,
And because if you look at a red yellow vertically on column 6,
yeah. She can start building
that
that.
might have been what she was going for.
And
Yeah, that's
it takes that amount of time to catch that you've just misdropped. And yeah, huh?
well. And I told her. I mean, she had me beat. I mean that was
Right.
not that was her game to win. And I told her, I said, you didn't deserve to lose that. And the only thing I could say to her afterwards was, you better get back to the finals because I want a fair rematch on this one because you know
Yeah.
she got shafted a little bit on that one.
There's the moment of shock on both of your faces, honestly.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, seeing it in slower motion, it's much clearer what actually happened. It wasn't a problem with the controller or anything. It was just she tapped over one more than she thought or sooner than she thought she did.
Hmm.
And like you said, that amount of time that it took to catch back up from playing at the high 60s, I wonder if that had an effect. I wonder if the last game doesn't go to 72 for you and 69 for
Yeah,
her if that doesn't happen.
maybe. I think we all do things like that frequently. I mean, even I've seen Snipe do it. I've seen anybody do it where they just you know accidentally press it one too many or not one or one too few, and kind of just messes you up and throws you off. But I hated winning that way because
Yeah. Yeah.
it didn't feel it felt like, yeah, I didn't really win that one. And so I was happy that she ended up making it back to the finals.
And I mean, we all know what happens next, but it's going to be fun to watch it from this angle. Uh, Here's you and Watchma getting ready to actually play your match.
Oh yeah, this was after the I think
Nope.
this was after the
No, this
power
is
outage.
before.
Oh, was this before?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the last bit of the stream before the power dropped.
Oh, okay.
So, and I don't know how much you were privy to of what we were discussing. I literally was in the process of grabbing a spare TV that I had brought for Betty, and we were looking into going to a hotel
Go.
room
Yeah, I
to
did hear
finish
y'all
this
talking about that, and I was like, that'd be crazy.
because we weren't going to go this far and not finish, not finish the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to do what you got to do, and nobody really knew when the power was going to come back. So, but
Right.
I think we got a good hint when certain parts of the power came back,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
building, and there was a light at the end of the tunnel at that point.
I'm just really curious because you guys aren't playing yet.
No, I think we're
This
just doing
is
warm
still
ups.
practice. And I know we're real close to the end. Yeah, it's about 45 seconds. Let me zip it on a little bit. So you're gonna. Let's listen.
And Louisville, you ready for this one? Betty,
Oh,
you
it
ready
cuts
for
off
this
like
one?
right before we
Yes,
start, right?
absolutely.
I think so.
All
Yeah.
right, players.
I think it
in
was. I feel like it was like 3, 2, 1,
2,
click,
1, pills.
or shortly after.
I
Yeah,
changed the
very
words.
shortly
Sorry,
after.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
But these two players fresh off of
Jamie, we need you to
and
build
they're
a
gone.
spacecraft. What you
That that was just horrendous. We weren't ready for that. Oh, at
Yeah.
that point, power shuts off for was an hour and a half. Was that about what it was?
I think about an hour and a half. Yeah,
Oh,
it's that long. It was quite a while.
yeah.
It was good though because, like I said, I wasn't feeling myself. I was still a little bit dizzy during these matches,
Mm-hmm.
and it gave me a chance to start feeling better. And I think that was kind of a blessing in disguise for me.
So, yeah, that was a very stressful. Like from an organizational standpoint, that was super stressful. Like
Yeah, I
we
can
were
imagine.
really scrambling, trying to say, what do we need to do? Trying to keep you guys, fresh and there, and I don't know, just trying to make sure we put the best product we can out there.
Hmm.
And uh,
Just some things that are just out of your control, and
yep, it was
you
a
do what
fun
you
time.
do what you can.
All right, let's get past the practice here. And for the second time, they count you in. Any thoughts about facing Watchma? You guys were the only unbeaten
Yeah.
players at that point.
Yeah, I know. I've played Watchma a handful of times on Fightcade, and each time he really impresses me. So I knew that this was not going to be an easy match, and I think I kind of consider him on the same level as all your B's and A's that are on Fightcade.
Mm-hmm.
He's in that same level.
Yeah,
But I did know that he did. I did know he did beat my son, so there was a little bit of animosity, like a little taste of revenge, kind of.
Yeah, he straight up wrecked me in 23 on the road to victory. Although in qualifiers, we did like a 4-player round robin, and he and I, it was 2 crowns each, and he and I split.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really proud of that. Wasn't particularly proud of the
Yeah.
fact that Bidwell had put the two of us into a bracket together, but uh, it is what it is.
Yeah. I think he's one of those players that I always think, dang, if he just would play more,
Yeah.
he would be so good, because like the talent is definitely there. I just think, he just doesn't play a lot, at least on Fightcade. I don't know if there's somewhere else he plays or if he does speed, but um, he doesn't play a ton on Fightcade.
Yeah, he's got multiple speed titles under his belt.
Okay.
Um,
So that's probably his main focus then.
one would assume. With this blue red, do you put it in
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
into 5-6, or are you just going to put it in 4-5?
Yeah, 4-5.
Okay.
I don't see.
Just
Oh, I see. Because you're talking about like the red yellow coming next to do the drop into a T. No, I think here I'm putting it on 4-5 because I can still do the red yellow
yeah.
right on 5-6, and if I get another red yellow, I'll just tuck it up underneath the yellow in column 6, most likely.
Okay. That's definitely a clear play. I just didn't know if it was the right play. And
I find there's multiple right plays in almost every game and every situation.
Mhm.
It's just there might be one that's a little bit better because it limits your drop time by a hair, but I think in some instances it's more important not to hesitate.
right. Yeah, when I brought Dimwit on to discuss his win in our like year-end speed tournament back in 2020, and I told him, and we were both expecting that the game had changed enough that we were going to be talking about the differences. It hasn't as much as we thought it had, but there's definitely this concept of standard speed play where we've really kind of standardized play to the point that if you've got a top level player, you kind of know what they're going to do in most situations. I'm curious if we're going to get to that point with versus.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And there's an ad. We have gotten to the point where if you see 2 speed players playing each other in versus, you can guarantee what they're going to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're predicting all the speed players plays very well, and they're always different from where I would go. So it is interesting to watch this and see the different mindset.
Mm-hmm. That's one of my goals. One of the reasons I do it, because
Yeah.
those mindsets are so different, and we are so set in our ways on the speed side. And granted, our ways are changing, but we're very set in the ones that we've got right now, because it just keeps winning tournaments. So finding that edge, finding that thing that makes certain types of players play better, it's a never-ending goal. I love the concept of the horizontal, and then you just destroy it. Like you were setting up for this horizontal on that yellow one too, and then you're just like, nope, I don't want that. It's so wild to me.
It sometimes boils down to, okay, it's been too long. He's placed too many pills without a combo. The combo's coming any second. And so sometimes it's a matter of just, killing what I was setting up because I don't want him to combo and put something on top of it and it really ruin it. And I do have a kind of a clock in my head with certain players of, okay, I've heard them place this many pills, a combo is coming next. And it's weird. It usually isn't off by much.
I wouldn't have even thought of it that way. That's really cool. I had a comment and I've already lost it. It's okay. 7-8 with the double yellow vertically innate following.
I mean, because of the double yellow coming, yeah, definitely you could do that. I think you could also just go straight into 5-6.
5-6. Yeah.
But
Anything but a double
yeah,
yellow, I
I
think
think
hits the
there's
back.
multiple options. The double, yeah, because any red piece after that allows you to get the combo. But
Mhm.
if it's a red yellow, you a clean combo, unless you're just going yellow column 8 overhang red on 7. So I like either move. I could go either way, but I think probably my first instinct is to go 5-6. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. And any other next pill, that's the first place I go to. I just immediately
Right.
go, oh wait, that ain't, bing bang boom, nice combo, and yeah, there you go. And you get the double yellows to make it pretty. So can't really complain about that. Hey, a tuck play. You don't see that with top speed player or versus players very much. It's such a speed thing. It's like a hallmark of my play style, so it's always fun to see somebody do it on a different or in versus, because you guys don't tuck very much.
Yeah.
It's rarely the right move.
Yeah, and it's sometimes dangerous because you're moving so fast to try and place the pill that sometimes when I go for a tuck, I don't get it, and it really messes up what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've tried to tuck a pill, and it just I yell at my screen like, I didn't do that. That's not where I put it.
Right.
Because it just doesn't go smoothly.
And if I'm
But
playing
that's also
fight,
probably because not a lot of practice doing it, whereas speed people probably do it frequently, so they're much more efficient at tucks. I think LBB in nationals was showing me like how to get a pill up underneath here and then flip it, vertically, and I was like, oh yeah, I would never try that in a game, and he did it like effortlessly. So
part of that is being more accustomed to playing on actual hardware. You can be more consistent with your tucks. Like, I know pretty much exactly what it takes to get most of the tucks that I'm going to try, because I'm playing on the same hardware, whereas with Fightcade, you're going to get burned with it so much more.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I've been burned a lot trying some stuff that was a little too fancy for what I can do.
you're just going to dump this into 1-2 and focus on the red yellow coming up next into 7-8.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or maybe 5-6.
Yeah, 5-6 actually would be a good play looking at it now, but I'm not sure that that's going to be my first instinct. But I do like that play. Yeah, I think yeah, because it allows for the next one to be red yellow. Okay, so if you put the red on top of column 6 and the blue hanging over on column 5, your next pill is red yellow.
Right.
So you put it on 6 and 7, and then if your next one is blue red, then you drop and you kill three viruses.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually a really good play, but I'm not thinking that's not what I'm going to do. But actually, if I have time to think about it, that's what I should do. But I'll probably go in column 1-2. I think just because it's quick, easy, and I don't want to think too hard right now because it's early. I just want to go.
I agree. Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay. So I made it for blue yellows. It actually worked out.
It really did. And now you've got that overhang, which we've seen that burn you in the past, but it doesn't look like it is planning on doing it there. It's cleared out of the way. And 7's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Watchman. Once he gets going, he can really punish you for any small misdrop, which I guess is true of most of the top tier versus players. But
yeah,
he's just.
I think, a matter of fact, speaking of that, I want to say this. Maybe it's the next one, but I think this round I do get a pretty bad misdrop that messes me up, and he takes advantage.
Yeah, it hurts seeing that yellow blue show up a pill too late, because you were getting set up for this horizontal. that,
Yeah.
oh man, that's
Yeah.
punishment right there too. You didn't like that, but I don't disagree with the way it came out. That immediate head shake, and I was just like, no, I like it. You've gotten your board into a safer position at least. And
Yeah.
really, once a blue shows up, there it is. Not as good as I thought it was going to be, but still.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I think there was a way to clear all that out, and I took the easy way out instead of probably the better way, which would have required waiting a little bit longer for the correct bill. But um, sometimes you just want to make sure that you give yourself some time and avoid topping out.
Right. That is always a concern. But yeah, you can see Watchma's definitely a speed player. As actually, I tell you where we got Watchma was from SNES Dr. Mario. That was his
Oh,
main
okay.
game back when he first started.
I've never played that version.
Don't, because then you'll never want to play anything else.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that they love it.
It's in a lot of ways it's a much better version. Plus, it's got built-in verses. It's not very good. The bot's terrible and doesn't know how to combo, but it's.
They never fixed that all the way up to the Wii U.
I believe it.
Whenever you would play the computer, Neo and I would play on level 20 high, and we would put the CPU on level 0 and put the CPU as hard.
Mm-hmm.
So the CPU would start off with 4 viruses, and we would start off with 84,
Mm-hmm.
and we would still beat them.
Wow.
So they never fixed that problem. They never got a really good CPU.
I think my personal best is 14 high to 3. I think I got the opponent down to 3
On the SNES.
on the SNES. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it to where it was on level 3, and I was able to beat it. Like,
Yeah.
not consistently, but I think that's the most I've ever been able to do.
I couldn't figure out what it was that the bot wasn't doing right, but because when you watch, it seems like it was moving at a decent speed, so it wasn't necessarily a speed thing. I think it was more a not looking for combos thing. It's just trying to clear out its viruses more than it combo you, and as long as you could keep comboing it, it never got much of a chance to play.
Right. You should check out a video of the SNES bot, because it literally, I can't describe the way that the computer moves outside of just inhuman. Like it spins it around. It looks like a TAS. I mean, because it is technically what that is, but still, it
doesn't look natural.
No, not at all. And even with that, like you said, it just doesn't have the right mental capacity for what we do. This is definitely the thinking man's Tetris. I always have to give Tetris a little bit of grief, because we've got that big brother, little sister relationship with them.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you did a lot of good work getting this board down. It was looking rough for a long time there.
Yeah. I think I'm getting a good set of pills coming. I'm here, kind of what I need to bring all this down. But I know I lose this one, so I think this is one where I miss flip up high. I can't remember if it's this one or the next one, but
that was a log and a half. It's gross.
Yeah.
That was an impressive speed play because you found the most efficient way to clear out all those blues. Yeah, let me back it up for a second
Mhm.
because right there you've got 5 blues clustered in that bottom left corner.
Yes.
And there's multiple ways you could have dropped that down. And I'm really impressed. Of course, you get the garbage, so that's actually not hurting anything because you've got now that clearage. But finding that setup, I find that very impressive. From a speed standpoint, I find that very impressive.
Thank you.
Now, do you find the horizontal blue there? No, okay. At this point, I want to see you take column 5 down 2 rows so that you can get to those yellows, get the horizontal out of the way, and then maybe find some plays. But I feel like if I were doing that live, I would be not focusing enough on getting the combos and just wrecking myself. So all right, what's the charity combo?
That's a nice charity. Yep. That gives me an opportunity to clear that red out.
Mm-hmm. And now you got options.
Yeah, I messed that double yellow. Should have gone in column 7.
Yeah, that would have worked out for you. But at this point, I mean, you're just trying to drop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you were frustrated in both times for that.
Yeah. Just not placing them where I want to place them.
There it goes. That was just a single. I'm surprised at that. I was expecting more to come out of that play.
Yeah.
I think you might have been too.
Yeah, I was.
Isn't that the worst when you're thinking you're gonna really get some stuff knocked out and then you're just like, oh, it was a single.
Yeah, or it doesn't knock anything out. I've done that too, where it's like,
yeah.
oh, I'm going to get this big drop, and it's like, oh, you miscalculated by one piece, and nothing happens.
Oh, and now the speed's starting to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm dead here.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Oh, that killed. Oh, 2 of them. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that yellow garbage was the death knell. I don't think you had that much survival left in you, even if you'd gotten that blue, but it wasn't. It wasn't good. All right, I want to be respectful.
I think the speed was.
Go ahead. Just saying, I'm not going to stop us too much more because I want to be respectful of your time.
Oh, it's fine. Whatever you want to do is fine with me.
Oh yeah, mine too.
If I'm not doing this, I'd be on Fightcade playing, so it's no big deal.
But okay, there's it just makes it to where getting a double red wouldn't have done you any good. There's a lot of yellow at the top of this board.
Mm-hmm.
You got a nice cross there. I like that.
Oh, I missed that. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, you get it with the next one. I was thinking the same thing, but I was like, oh no, the next pill's coming. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Here's a combo. Oh, that was a nasty fat log. That was in Tetris they call that a dirty Tetris. That's exactly what that was. That's the equivalent of a dirty Tetris. That was.
Yeah. Well, and you look at this board, you go, okay, I've got him. Like I'm set up and everything is landing. I think he does some really elaborate thing that brings a whole bunch of stuff down.
1, 2.
Okay. And he comes back and takes this one.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it was quite impressive.
You're definitely in the right place. And I mean, is it a matter of you were focusing on maybe the wrong thing? You weren't trying to hit your combos as hard, or is it just he had the setups and
a little bit of that? And also a little bit of not getting the pieces when at the time that I'm trying to do things in a combo, very well, and it would kind of block where I was working. But yeah,
Gotcha.
he brings this down, and then I think this is the one where I misflip and against someone like Watchma, all it takes. Oh yeah, here it is. It's
Oh,
coming right here.
yeah.
Yep. So I put that. Yeah, that was just me being stupid and killing myself. And I remember being very, very frustrated after that, and trying to come out on this next one, uh, just kind of guns a-blazing, because I was not happy with that I lost that one
Gotcha. I mean, you just,
the way I did.
again, you've been playing for so long. It's, I
It's
guess.
no excuse, Ook. It's no excuse. You know, everybody's playing long. I just was not happy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, wow. What even happened there? I'm watching his
I think he was
side
going
now.
for a horizontal blue, and I think he
Oh, yeah.
misflipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't slide over enough.
Yep.
That's tough. Because especially after some of the epic games you guys are playing, it's really tough to lose that way. But all right, let's get
Mhm.
to the finals. And let's be real. This was the matchup we knew was coming.
Yeah, it was definitely the one I was hoping for sure. And this was, it was double elimination, but I think because the time we were behind in time, Bidwell came up with an idea that instead of doing double elimination, where Betty would have to beat me twice, that we could do what we did last year,
Mm-hmm.
which is,
Spare crown.
yeah, she has to win one more crown in the match, so she
Yeah.
has to win 4. And so Betty came up to me and was like, "That's an option if you want to do that." And I basically just told her, I said, "It's whatever you want to do because you know you should be here anyway, not me."
Mm-hmm.
And the roles should be reversed. So I let her choose, and she decided to go with the doing 4 crowns rather than two matches.
Yeah, that's kind of become our standard. I think as long as it is standardized, I don't care what we go with. Let's just, pick it. But
Yeah.
and I don't mind
Well, it
it.
was getting late by that time
Yeah.
too, because so if it ended up being that we would end up having to play 2 full matches, especially if they go to deciders.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how late we would have been there, because I've had matches with Betty that go well over an hour.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't mind that. With the final match, it's you want it to be winner take all. And yeah, it maybe it does benefit the player in the lower bracket, but she had to play right before this. She had so many more games she had to play because she had to get through that extra elimination. So I feel like you're coming in with a little bit fresher eyes and a little bit more of an advantage anyway. So I don't hate it.
no, and I don't think it's far off as far as advantage. I think having to beat someone twice, where you could beat them 3, or having to take, I think it's the same. I don't think there's a huge advantage either.
All right. Well, I feel like this first pill is obvious. So yeah, you've got red blue. You've got one red facing up. The only question to me is whether. Oh no. Okay. I was gonna say is whether you put this blue yellow vertically in 8, but I feel like you're gonna go 2-3 with it because that's a double vertical setup.
Yeah, and you just need one more blue yellow, and a lot of blue yellows in a row I've noticed in this game. So
Yeah.
I think I would do the red in 4-5 and blue yellow in 2-3.
Yeah, I feel like
And she'll probably do the same thing.
Without those pairs, I feel like that vertical and 8's a really cool play because then you can focus on well, actually 2 more red blues would be wonderful. But okay, yeah, I agree. She's going to do the same thing. Oh, and she blocks off that center column. You had that long horizontal. It wasn't a combo, but it was fun and pretty, and she blocked it off for you. How dare she?
I don't know if it's just on my phone here or not, but it's really choppy watching. Like the movements aren't smooth at all. So I think my internet connection or something might be messing up right now.
You've cut
Because
out.
it'll like, oh, okay,
Your voice has been a little choppy at times over the course of the night.
okay.
But no, it's coming through clear on my end, unless I'm not dropping any frames on my Twitch, so I'm gonna assume it's not my
Okay.
end. But
Yeah, it's probably my end.
let me know if you need me to slow it down or anything.
No, it's actually working better now.
Okay.
It was just at the beginning was really bad.
All right, so I mean, this is the you and Betty match again. That was a misdrop there with the red blue, but you guys are so well paired in this for people who have such different play styles.
Yeah, I think Betty and I have on multiple occasions adjusted our play against each other. Like, because I feel like we've over our history in this have gone very back and forth where there for a while she'll be winning all of them and then it'll switch and I'll be winning them and then back to her and it kind of go in streaks sometimes and I feel like that is us both adjusting to each other's play style. Kind of like chess.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little chess match and um, when I first finally figured out how to beat Betty, which took a while, I noticed she set up very elaborate combos
Mm-hmm.
from the get-go. And if she was able to set one of them off, she would then set multiple off and so my thought was if I can prevent her from setting the first one off, then I don't have to worry about that. And so I would just throw the quickest possible combo I could right down from the beginning, even if it wasn't necessarily the best play.
Mm.
And it worked very well for me. And then she changed her game up where it became a battle for that first combo. It was no longer she was trying to set up these elaborate combos. So it's been interesting playing her over the years.
Yeah, and she puts a lot of stock in that. The term first blood, I'm fairly certain she created herself. I know I picked it up from her. 5-6 is quicker. I guess.
Yeah, but I actually like 2-3
2-3
more
better?
because then it gives me a blue yellow option as well.
Okay.
Whereas 5-6 doesn't really give me any different options. It's just what I already have there.
Right.
So
And it's not all the way on the edge either. So okay, cool.
yeah, I might even do one on one and one on the other here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like that's exactly what you did. And
Which is a little risky because I don't draw first blood, but it gives me a whole lot of options. Ooh, I think I'm cutting out again.
oh, I mean, I didn't.
Can
say
you hear me,
anything.
Ook?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was choppy on my end, so
Oh, gotcha.
I thought maybe I was cutting out.
No, then I stopped talking. So,
I'm gonna go downstairs and see if that helps
all right.
my signal here.
So, yeah, so far it's not terrible boards for either one of you. You do actually have the higher board state, which again, that's another hallmark of speed players. Swung is kind of the person I always associate with that, the concept of a flat board. Like he was very much a proponent of that. But around the time he was playing his best speed, and I think a lot of us just kind of took on that same concept pretty heavily.
Yeah, Pez Master is excellent at keeping a even board. That is a strength of his.
So Betty doing the same thing here, it doesn't surprise me at all. She's just fast.
Yeah, she got out to a pretty big lead on this one. Um, I think there's a moment where I'm able to stun lock her, at least a bit of a stun lock, and kind of start burying the middle of her board.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing to do, at least consistently. Oh, there we go. Nice set of combos for you. Really wish for that red yellow for you one pill earlier than it came, because then you could have set up, a nice little drop combo. But now you're in a real dangerous position. You cover it up pretty quickly, but I have found that's a thing that I have started doing is if I do clear out the center of my board and there's just no viruses, I'll immediately just dump something in there to reduce the potential for drop time, because I've been burned so much with those stun locks.
Yeah. Yeah, they can be brutal.
Is that something you find yourself doing, like if you see a board position like that?
Yeah, and like a lot of other things I've said today, it kind of goes along with depends on who I'm playing, depends on what their board state is like. Um, you know,
It's
how
Betty. I'm
quickly I
expecting
think they're going to
combos.
combo.
Yeah.
Yeah. With of course with Betty, that's any second, she's ready to drop one.
Mm-hmm.
So just it depends. But yeah, I do that as well.
I think watching Snipe play, I think, was what kind of made me go, oh, maybe I should start doing that instead. Because yeah, nothing frustrates me in versus more than just having to sit there while the stun lock happens. Partially because I'm such a speed player, and we like going fast. Let me actually, that was the pill I wanted to talk about. So interesting pill right here. If you can manage to flip this horizontally, you drop the row on 5 and 6 there, and you've got a horizontal setup for your red.
Okay, yeah, I see.
It's
I don't know if I was thinking T here or if I was thinking yellow drop into a red here. Um, I don't know. Also, I think part of it too is that I want to make sure that I don't leave a lot of open holes that go all the way down to the bottom.
sure.
And so I had two of them. I had one in column 3 and one in column 7. So
That's just
yeah,
a speed player sees things that
yeah.
it's a little different, because at this point I'm thinking, how am I going to work my way up the sides of the board? And in your case right here, I think I'd focus more on the right side than the left, just because you get that giant pile up on top of.
Oh yeah, well, and I'm umbrellaed in column 2 anyway, so I'm not worried about the left side at all really right now,
Right.
because there's really nothing she can do to block me off over there. So I definitely am, I think, focusing more on my right side here, or I should be. I don't know if I do, but I should be.
I would love to see you put this double red horizontally, and then drop that red yellow vertically in 7. It doesn't combo, but man, it knocks out one more virus. And at this point, I feel like you're much closer to a virus clear than she is, even though you've got 3 more viruses than she does. But that's again,
Yeah,
that's
she's a little buried on hers.
more of a speed look at things. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And I mean, you're going to get your combos. So when it's all said and done,
Yeah,
really
with Betty,
complain.
you can't give her too much time without a combo, because that's where she sets up these really elaborate things and she will stun lock the heck out of you. Um, so you try to avoid it by setting off a combo. I normally like to try and say no more than 4 pills are placed without setting a combo.
Wow.
And obviously it's not always going to be that, but that's kind of the rule of thumb I go by is try not to place more than 4 pills without a combo.
That is an interesting rule of thumb. I'll have to think about that one when I'm trying out with verses. That's
So here I got to clear that yellow and red at the bottom because I'm tempted right now just to bring all that stuff down,
mhm.
that blue and yellow on column 1, the high virus
Mhm.
down, but you really need to take everything underneath it and get
Oh
that last
yeah,
one
yeah.
at the end. But I always get so tempted to just like, oh, I could bring that down and it would drop in, but then your red's buried and you spend all this
Yep.
time trying to get rid of that.
Yeah, we see lots of people lose the game over plays like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
You,
that's
you
almost, it's so tempting to take it, but you know that it's going to backfire in the end.
you get down to virus 1 and then you're just like, "Oh, I have no way to get to virus 1." And I
Hmm.
mean, it's further down, but if it's about 3 or 4 rows up from where it is, which you don't usually get them that high, but you're looking at one misdrop at higher speeds, and you could be tapped out. So,
Hmm.
all right, that's crown 2. I don't remember if it was 3 and out or not, but looks like you're going 6-7.
Yeah,
There's just not a good place for this.
there really isn't a great place for this.
Not with a
I
double
think
blue
with the
card.
next one being a double blue, the smart move would have been in 2-3 horizontal, but
Yeah,
and
I can
then
see that.
overhang 3-4 with the double blue. But I
Hmm.
don't doesn't look like I'm doing that because I'm moving it over the other way. So
Yeah.
we'll see what I do.
I mean, a double yellow would have at least given you a chance to take those blues as a triplet, but don't even care
Hmm.
about that.
It looks like we both did the exact same moves the whole way. The whole thing was
Yep.
exact. This all of that was the exact same moves. Interesting.
Nice. And, if you need a professional car fix pen, I guess that's a thing that exists. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, with as many options as there were at the beginning of what you could do and what the right move would be,
Hmm.
it was very interesting to see us take the exact same pattern with the first, what, 7 or 8 pills.
Nothing surprises me about that anymore. Good players will play the same plays. And, mediocre players will play the same mediocre plays too. I've been part of a few of those. Uh, and it's just interesting. I think Steve and I did a lot of that because he and I practiced a lot together over the course of the weekend. Uh,
Hmm.
for him being the guy that took me down, I really did see a lot of him. But there were a lot of times where we would come through and we'd hit the same moves, just bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
I really want this blue. Oh, you made it. I wasn't sure you were going to try to pull that off. I've seen you just in watching this tournament, seeing you kind of hesitate with those all the way to the right plays.
I think, the more you play live as the day goes on, you get more and more comfortable with that. Like in Fightcade, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
feel comfortable attempting that. But in on the hardware, you go, okay, well, maybe I can make this.
And that's
And so you're a little more brave as the day goes on.
that's kind of what I thought was what was going on in your head too. So
Yeah.
that makes good sense. She's so happy she got that combo.
I remember that.
Uh, yeah, I did one of those in Cincinnati. I was playing against Floyd, and I let out an almost guttural just holler because I was so happy with the play that I'd made, and it wasn't even
Well,
like completely on purpose.
at one point in this particular crown, I think her daughter starts cheering her on really loud, and
Mm-hmm.
very cute kid, and it was very adorable. And so the commentators made a a statement about how she was using it to distract me or something like that. And I was like, it's kind of working because now I feel bad if I win, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually babysat when when Betty and Jay were playing against each other. I was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
look, just send the kid over here. It's fine." I mean, yeah, this is what I do for a living. I don't, well, not babysit, but I'm a children's librarian. It's kind
Yeah.
of hanging out with people's kids is what I do for a job, so I'm very used to it. But
Yeah. Both my oldest and my youngest really took to her.
yeah,
When we all went out to eat afterwards and, um, yeah, they both really liked her.
yeah, I caught Betty in line on the way to the, on the way into the building, and I was like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And her kid sees mine, and the two of them had hung out before, and she just immediately just beelined. That kid does not know
Oh,
strangers.
that's awesome. No. Mm-mm.
Interesting. Okay, you got to set this down there. There you go. Into the hole. Big combo. I was gonna say interesting choice, not overhanging anything into five, and then as I was thinking that, you end up getting garbage on five. So
Yeah, I think it's important to keep 4 and 5 as clear as possible at this stage in the match, um, because if they do start a stun lock and that and it ends up being in that column 4 and 5, then top out's probably coming.
hmm. I mean, your five was completely empty, so
Yeah, I know, but with someone like Betty,
it
or
doesn't last.
a lot of the top notch players, I've seen them combo me from basically all the way to the bottom to the top. So any option I have to clear out 4 and 5, I try to take it at this point, especially if I feel like I'm in the lead in the match.
Hmm.
I don't want to be the one to destroy myself by allowing that column to build up too much. Um,
How much of
and
this
it's
is
probably not necessarily the right decision. It's just kind of the one that I feel most comfortable because I've killed myself in far too many matches to count. So.
how much of this is stuff that you've consciously thought about and know that that's what you're doing, and how much of it is just instinct at this point?
Yeah, there is a lot of instinct when you've played, as many hours as I have, not just on Fightcade, but just in general.
Yeah.
Um,
You're gonna get a lightning bolt. No, you're not gonna get a lightning bolt. Thought maybe.
yeah, and that misflip definitely caused me to rethink this solution, but this helps here.
Yeah, that's really good play. Interesting choice, not tucking that double red sideways so that it gets in underneath of eight. Uh,
Yeah, okay. I see where I'm going with this. Um, yeah, I think right now I like where my board is
mhm.
um, compared to hers. I feel like if I just stay steady, keep the combos coming, and don't let her stun lock me,
Mhm.
then I should be okay. At least that's what I'm pretty sure is going through my mind at this point.
Right. Are you singing that chorus that I generally have? Don't screw this up. Don't screw this up.
Yeah,
Don't screw this up.
I
It never
sing that
works.
frequently. Maybe not with those words, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
more or
Yeah.
less, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the funny thing is, you see the big old smile on Betty's face. Two reasons for that. Number one is she's having fun. She's playing against somebody
Hmm.
who she really enjoys playing against, and is getting to play her game to the best of her ability. But number two, and
Yeah,
I firmly believe this, it's because she knows that the worst thing that's going to happen right now is one of her friends is going to win a tournament.
yeah. She's
And
always been very nice and welcoming ever since I joined, and I mean, everybody knows that about her.
Yeah. I felt like pointing it out.
Yep. I completely agree with you, and I see why she's such a fan favorite, and she really is. She's,
Mhm.
the fan favorite, I think. Um, I don't think I've ever been in a tournament or competition where she was playing and the crowd wasn't cheering for her.
Right.
Um, and even online, Twitch and the streams that, all the people in the streams are cheering for her. So there's good reason for that.
Yeah. And it's very
I
true.
was the only one cheering against her in nationals because she was playing Neo Speedo, and so I was like the one person cheering for Neo.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, I mean I've known the kid since I was like I don't know, 10 years old or something like that.
Mm-mm-mm.
I mean, if the guy's in my wedding party, I guess I have to cheer for him.
I mean, that's no guarantee, but yeah, I'll give you that. Ooh.
And a lot of people don't realize this, but because Neo hasn't played quite as much as I have in Vicade,
Mm-hmm.
but once he gets to his capabilities, he's going to be scary for a lot of people. And he hasn't gotten there completely yet. He's obviously getting there. He's very good, but um, I've seen what he's capable of.
Are you gonna pull this off?
I do somehow.
Okay.
I don't know if she tops out, maybe.
You got me curious.
Yeah, maybe I'll just work 4 and 5 down as much as I can.
Maybe.
The speeds are getting up there, but
Yeah.
I see a path out of it. So it's
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
get, getting the pieces I need to is always helpful.
right. If she could drop a yellow piece of garbage into 8, that would be just lovely. Well, no, it doesn't matter as
Mm.
much.
Her speeds are really getting up there too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think we're both getting some very high speeds going.
She's about 15 to 20 pills ahead of where you are.
Yep. And I've got a column blocked off, but she's got multiple columns blocked off on
Mm-hmm.
one side. So if I can bring one down, I'll be okay. Whereas I think it's a matter of survival at this point. Yeah, because there was no way she was getting to the bottom of her column 7 and 8
Yeah.
at those speeds. So you just kind of have to play the survive as long as you can and hope they top out game.
Mm. Love that. 2 seconds of disappointment on her face, and then it's just all smiles because she knows, like I said, one of her friends just won a tournament, and she's so happy about that for him. And I love that
Yeah.
about Betty. I love that about that's really this whole community. You got a lot
Yeah,
of
it is.
players who just we love taking care of each other.
Yeah, it's unique in that there's so many people and there's really no bad apples
Mm-hmm.
in the group. It's just everybody is always welcoming, nice, and yeah, it's a very
Yeah,
very good group. And it's one that I'll allow my 9-year-old kid to join. So that says a lot
that does say a
because
lot.
I'm kind of protective of him. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, the fact that I don't mind him being around any of these people speaks volumes.
So where's the baseball bat right now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think they're. So my son dropped it.
Oh no!
Mini drop. Yeah, he dropped it on the way out to the car when we were loading our stuff.
Oh no!
So it's got some scuff marks on it, but no, it's in my room, in my
Cool,
bedroom.
cool, cool.
I haven't gotten a display yet for it, but that'll come at some point.
It's the coolest trophy in esports, and I will take no
Oh yeah,
arguments. I've never seen anything
yeah.
quite like it.
The year before, when I didn't know what to expect when you won, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know there was a bat or anything like that. And when Dave Smith beat me, he got that bat. I was like, dang man, that was the coolest part of the whole thing. Like, you get a little bit of a cash prize or whatever, but I was like, I really wanted that bat.
Right? Yeah, the first 2 years I flew up and I was like, I really kind of hope I don't win, because if I do, I gotta wait till I don't even know when I'm gonna get the bat because I can't get it on the plane. I was
Oh
flying
yeah,
Spirit. I didn't have any bags, so
yeah.
and they certainly weren't going to let me carry that into the cargo or into the passenger
No, I don't think so.
compartment.
Probably not.
But anyway, I haven't made that a problem yet. So
Yeah. And if they do let you on, you might want to find a different airline next
right,
time.
well, I mean, it was Spirit, so let's see if I can get a shot of the bat as we're doing our closing here. There you go. There's you with the bat.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to add? Any floor is yours as
No,
we're
I mean,
closing things.
I think, yeah, I think we talked about team battle and just, I appreciate all the people involved with that. Um, Elsie and Gridley and all of them have just really made my life a lot easier rather than having to take it on myself. Um, so just kind of giving them a shout out. And then, um, the people I play on Fightcade have made every night interesting for me and fun, giving me something to do at night instead of watch TV or whatever, I was doing before.
Right.
Um, but no, I just love the community and hope to continue doing this for as long as I can. And then when I can't anymore, I let Minnie take over for me. And he can just take my Coop 326 name too.
Sounds great. All right. Well,
Then looking forward to nationals, of course.
yeah, it's going to be great. I want to say a big thank you for coming out. I've been looking forward to this ever since, honestly, since before Louisville, because I kind of knew after that monthly beforehand that there was a good chance you were going to be the one to take the win, and I was looking forward to getting a chance to interview you, talk to you about all of this. So thanks for coming on and sticking
Yeah,
out
it was
through
fun.
3.5 hours with me.
It flew by.
Yeah. To everybody watching on Twitch, you can catch full episodes over on YouTube and a few abbreviated episodes over on Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, check the link below for my Twitch streams. We do all this live. You can be part of the chat, and I can ignore you just like I do all of the people that I love who've been in the chat all night. So yeah, thank you to everybody who's been out. Again, thank you to Coop. We'll get him on stream at some point. And till next time, as always, be good, be safe, be happy. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Luke.